mate. I'm too fat to fit.
Yeah. Hey, we're on.
We are possibly live.
Oh, good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of the Ryan Nerds podcast.
Skazz, yes.
Bard.
And it's a very special podcast because it is the Bard's birthday.
Huzzah.
Not today.
Near enough, you old
Monday.
bastard.
How many years older now?
I shall be 29.
29.
Years old. My 29th
Old man.
naming day.
Old man. I thought
Yeah.
younger than that.
So I'm about
You're
to call
older-
you
you're
an
older
old
than me.
cunt, but
Everybody thinks I'm younger than I am.
child.
Eternally
man.
young. It's the wizard's curse, mate.
See how posh we are with alcohol and
Yep,
Tea.
special proper
Living up.
ales. Yep, and birthday cards and tea, and we've already had the ham sandwiches.
And the seafood sandwiches, which are pretty good.
Very
for us.
posh. Very posh indeed.
full of flavour, eh? GG.
Well, look at the pig on the front. That's old fun. I heard sales days full of flavour.
Oh, aye, good stuff.
Yeah.
Champion.
Shall we make a start?
Yeah, sure, good stuff.
Okay.
We've got to have a bit of waffle at the start.
Yeah, it's what people will come to expect. Otherwise, how else are they going to skip through most of it?
I've got to get all my swearing out of the space, see, because
Good. Have you fucking managed that?
I'm trying. I think you've just topped me there, Nick.
Oh,
Damn it.
Yeah.
oh, for fuck's sake, fucking hurry up. We fucking swear fucking
Fuck's
more.
sake, try harder, you cunt, and then throw in some racism somewhere.
Pretty much, yeah. That's later on in the podcast.
Yeah, I'm trying to save that.
Perfect.
Go.
Right, so, games we've been playing. Luke,
Oh, God. Is this just because I'm like at the top
top of the list,
again?
yeah.
I want to make sure I don't put anything in until the
I go through in the exact order. Oh, that's okay. I can see the weird news. I go through the exact order of the list.
You almost ruined the podcast.
I did
Yes.
then.
Because I would just start reading weird news out randomly, you know.
Just like randomly throughout the podcast. And someone had hold of a cucumber. The duck went missing. The rats returned.
Yeah. Everything about this podcast looks wrong.
Yeah.
Alcohol, birthday cards, tea, and
It's a good night
random
out. It's a good night in.
vegetables.
Nick. No. In fairness, that only really makes sense to anyone that's watching the YouTube feed right now. Otherwise, they're
been-
like, what are you guys talking about? What are you chatting about? Nick got
Nick's
some
been
veg.
alt-colour eggplant wizard, basically.
Perfect. So, Luke, games.
Oh, yeah. I've been playing a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
quite
pretty
that's
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty good. No, I've been playing some text adventures, you know, ye olde old school.
Oh, yes.
Because I've been practicing with the Raspberry Pi again. I
Move
kinda-
east,
Yeah.
move west,
Can I say,
open drawer.
I decided I'd start some text adventures and I'd go to the actual start, the game adventure, which is like Colossal Cave or something like that.
Okay.
I haven't finished it, so I played like Adventure, Zork, and some
Okay,
others.
classics there, yeah.
And
They did a version of the Dark Crystal as well, didn't they? The Jim
okay.
Henson film they did an adventure game for. Yeah, it's
Couldn't
quite early
say.
as well.
all I'm going to say is I haven't finished any yet since the last podcast. I've been playing them on the Pi. They play brilliantly like oil. You can download most of this stuff for free, and people are still making
Cool.
the damn thing.
Oh,
Getting
yeah,
active
actually, yeah.
fiction. And
Choose your own adventure.
suck at 'em, but damn, they're fun.
Mm.
Passing engines are a nightmare, but you know.
I remember
type
when we
in
were
your
in
commands.
school, we had one that was based around, I believe it was World War One. You were a child in World, or you were you're a friend of a child in World War One, and all you ever used to do was spend time getting this poor kid killed. So it's like, yeah, where can we go to like make this kid do something stupid to get himself blown up? It's just like
Go to
sums up
front
how
line.
evil children are.
Good times.
To be fair, it's one of most NPCs in games. The first thing is, how easy can I kill these? And in what inventive way can I murder them?
Does this game have ragdoll physics? That's what we get,
It's like,
isn't it?
yeah. It's why Oblivion gave us the adoring fan.
Was the writer of the game as twisted as I am?
Pretty much.
Oh, so good.
More games need ragdoll
I mean-
mode.
I've played text adventures before on the Commodore 64, and I didn't play a great deal of them. I can't remember any of the damn ones, but the ones I do remember are stuff like Zork.
Yeah.
Actually, I can remember playing Zork Grand Inquisitor, and that came with Zork 1 and 2, or at least what I had the disc I had came with Zork 1 and 2.
I'd hate to jump in with something we talked about earlier on the podcast, but I'm going to have to do it. When we were
Early
earlier
on the
talking
podcast, we've been on for 3 minutes.
when we were talking about, I meant before the podcast,
Well.
when we talked about Sanctuary 4
Yeah.
earlier, one of the things it does in Sanctuary 4 is the machine, because I said you were part of a system, there's a glitch in the system and the game turns into a text adventure.
See, that's just hardcore.
Yeah, it's quite amusing.
I've, as simple as text adventures, I've been really enjoying them, and as sucky as I am, man, they're just really cool just to sit there and just read a block of text, and then you have to just sit there and actually imagine something. A game can be a game without graphics.
Well,
Yeah.
Really cool. I think someone here should write one, or someone that listens should write text adventure. Recommend some text adventures as well. That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that's one you want.
A lot of people have recommended
write
that
a
one, but I've
Rad
never
Nerds
played it.
text
That's
adventure.
meant to be ridiculously hard.
Which one is it?
I'm cool with that.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy
Oh, right,
text advantage, based on the first book
Yeah.
of the series, the famous trilogy in 5 parts. But it's based on the first book, but you can't actually complete it. They didn't finish it, so it only gets
so many old games.
And it got about halfway. You get about halfway, and you just can't complete it. You can't go any further in the game. They just ran out of time to finish it. So, and it was infamously hard, which is why I think everybody recommends it, because they recommend it to troll somebody. That's why I recommend it to yourself.
I love the way.
Well, now you've ruined it.
No, he'll forget by the morning.
I'll give a crap if it's a troll. I'll still play it. Get me on notepad out and start drawing maps of the world and that, and it's kind of fun.
I think there's early on you have the option to lay down in front of a bulldozer and it runs you over.
So cool. I don't know why, but that reminds me of Where the Samurai.
Oh god, yeah.
You piss off the Akadama clan.
Stick
Well, no,
on
you
the
piss
train
off
tracks.
the Kuro family. You get tied to the train tracks.
And the Akadama clan come along and can help you if you choose to join them.
And I kept telling him to fuck off, but I forgot that I had my super rare sword.
Don't
with
worry,
me.
Don-san will save you.
And then I got wrecked. I lost my sword, and I almost about to cry because I love that sword. It was so good.
What about Don-san?
Don-san.
Don-san will save you with his afro and everything. He was awesome.
Don-san was pretty
and
cool.
his purple kimono. What a legend.
Living under the bridge.
Oh.
What a dick. But yeah, that's it. Text adventures are cool.
Okay.
Raspberry Pi is good at playing text adventures.
Good. Well, I think we're going to come on to the Raspberry Pi a bit later, aren't we? Not.
Aye.
Not that we plan these too much, but.
Not that we know what's coming
Sorry,
up.
that whole sentence just made me think of American Pie, man.
And everyone goes silent. Dun, dun, dun. We haven't recorded.
Yeah, I hope so.
Doesn't matter.
Adam.
Oh, yeah, for me, yeah, I've been playing. Well, it's not actually a game, it's another DLC for Muramasa.
Muramasa.
The third DLC for Muramasa, as Nick likes to call it.
Muramasa.
Muramasa Rebirth. There is a new DLC, and for the life of me, I've been trying to remember the character's name for the podcast, because he's got a really long Japanese name, and I've forgotten it.
So we'll just call him Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff the Ninja. You're basically this dude who's a ninja in this one.
Called Jeff.
Like the ninja, I think it's Kisuke in the main game. Like him, he's a runaway from a clan, and he doesn't know why. So it's very similar to the dude in the main game.
I run away from a clan. I got no idea why, but
yeah, you kind of find out why over the course of the story. But what happens is they jump him in this temple, like this gang of ninjas. You sort of start off halfway through his adventure when he gets jumped in this temple, and they try and kill him, but he pretends he's dead, and then launches a bomb attack, which kills them all, but it blows up part of this temple and destroys an ancient mirror in this temple, which belongs to a water goddess.
See, Mirror Master.
And there's a mirror in it, and she curses him so that within 7 days he'll die.
That's fucking mean.
But so she can see it, she transforms into a snake and sits on his neck. So he's got like a little white snake around his neck for the entirety of his adventure.
Sick.
But there seems to be, I haven't played much of it, I only got it the other day, but it seems to be like you finding out bits and pieces of his history. I won't reveal anything for people who might want to play it.
He has a history.
But he kind of develops a little bit of a friendship with this, but even though she's going to kill him, but he's kind of a bit of a nonchalant kind of guy anyway, so he's like, yeah, whatever. Days, yeah. Oh, well, if you're going to kill me, you might as well sort of sit and chat while we're here. So, yeah.
I've got a couple of days left. How you doing?
He's an interesting
If ever we
character.
get took by hostage by terrorists, that's what we'll try
Out
doing.
of all the characters from the DLC so far, he's the most fun to play. He's got 3 weapons. He's got kunai, so you can attack from a distance, and you can rapid fire with them. He has a sickle, so he can spin it around just like on a chain. That gives him a whole 360 area of attack. So for once, you can actually swing the weapon all the way around and take out enemies below you and above you, which is pretty cool. And he's got the tried and trusted dynamite sticks that just blow the hell out of everything. Yeah, from what I played of it so far, he is the most fluid of the playable characters for the DLCs. So yeah, one to look into. Definitely enjoying it. Waiting for the last one, 4th DLC to be released. That will be the last one that's released for that game.
Keep forgetting, did this come out on the PS3 as well? Or was
No,
it Vita
it's Vita exclusive, yeah. It's the Wii game, but we done for Vita. But they've changed stuff. It's got a closer story to the original. They toned the story down for the Wii version, obviously with it being sort of like the Wii being more that family kind of console.
Love Nintendo.
They took all the swearing out and all the sort of derogatory sort of bits in it, and they've added them back
what
in.
we do with this podcast.
Except that we don't.
Yeah.
I try.
We do a Wii version of the podcast.
It's the one where we don't release it.
It'll be basically just saying, hello,
The shovelware cast.
bye.
What up? Podcast. Done.
Perfect.
But yeah, recommended. Yeah, I mean, like if you've got Muramasa anyway, you're gonna get it.
That was free DLC, wasn't it?
No, you have to pay for it. It's not much. It's like £3.20, and you get a whole new character and a whole new part of the game.
Which game had free DLC we were chatting about before?
Dragon's Crown. That had all the another vanilla way game, and it had like all the extra dungeons and stuff, and they kept updating the game, adding new things to it. So yeah, that had some free stuff.
So I might pick it up. So I've got Muramasa.
Yeah,
Rebirth. But
well,
like
the original, the whole DLC, if you bought all 4 of them when the 4th one comes out, will come to just over about £10. You're talking about £12, I think it is, something like that. So that's not too bad. You get 4 characters, 4 whole different new stories, so it extends the game quite a bit. It's more like buying an expansion pack, really, like you would have done back in the day. Yeah.
Expansion packs I forgive.
Yeah.
DLC I don't.
I don't forgive DLC when it's like launched straight away, but in this case, it's something that can be put into making like way after the game's finished. And they're whole new characters with their entire own movesets and their own stories and their own enemies and their own areas. So everything's new, so it's pretty good.
Perfect.
I'm cool with that.
So yeah, if you have Muramasa, you're bound to probably get it already because Muramasa is a bit of a niche game anyway, really. So yeah, if you don't, I would have thought you were going to get the DLC. But if you were on the fence about thinking of getting it, get it. It's good.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Right. Well, I've been playing recently ArmA 3.
How old is ArmA 3? No question.
Last year, 2013.
Fucking hell, and how old's ArmA 2?
ArmA 2 was quite a few years ago, and you got to remember that originally it all started with Operation Flashpoint, which is 2001.
I remember when you used to play in college.
I was playing Operation Flashpoint was the first one that Bohemia Interactive did.
All right, that's interesting. I didn't realise that was related to the ArmA series.
Well, basically, when Bohemia sort of cut ties with... Was Eidos who published it? I can't remember now. I have to look that up. Flashback.
There's 2 Flashpoint games, aren't there?
Right. Basically, Operation Flashpoint was the first one. Made by Bohemia Interactive. I can't for life remember the publisher. Codemasters, that's who published it. Bohemia Interactive then basically split up Codemasters but lost the right to the Operation Flashpoint name. So Codemasters went off and made Operation Flashpoint 2, which was released next Xbox.
I always remember Codemasters for Dizzy.
Yes. I quite like Codemasters. I have a soft spot for Codemaster.
They did Micro Machines as well, didn't they?
They did lots of little games. Yeah. Nice little games. So Bohemia Interactive then went off and made one again called Armed Assault. And Armed Assault, then the follow-up to Armed Assault it got shortened as the sort of nickname for was ArmA, A-I-M-A, with a capital A. So it's a capital A-I-M, capital A, and it's got named ArmA. So then they went on to make so that basically Armed Assault was the sequel to Operation Flashpoint. Still used a very similar engine. That one, Operation Flashpoint was set during the Cold War. ArmA 2 was set during sort of Middle Eastern sort of modern sort of time, basically. Very buggy game, very broken. They've now released ArmA 3, and basically the fact that they've actually made the engine work perfectly. It's not as buggy as it was. ArmA, which was full of bugs, people getting clipped through things and stuff. But what's key for about it was dedicated to realistically simulating military infantry combat. So it's proper tactical combat, one shot, one kill. You get shot of it, unless you're wearing armor, you're dead. And even if you're wearing armor, if someone hits you in the head, well, sorry, you're dead. And all weapons have realistic blast ranges, grenades, blast, everything's very realistically done. In actual fact, it's been adapted for use as a training aid. The American military use it as an adapted version for training.
No. We'll pretend we didn't say that.
What? They do use it.
No. We're not saying that you can train anyone to use anything through the means of, video games.
There's a lot more complicated than us. There's a lot more complicated their version.
They've tweaked it a bit. Yeah.
But
games can't teach you bollocks unless you've tweaked the shit out of it.
You can't actually get the full training version as a civilian. You can only get it if you're part of the military because it's so complicated. It's just
there we go.
That might be something worth looking into.
We've covered it. If you want to go on a mass murder rampage, join the military.
Yeah, pretty much. They train how to do it and all. They don't use a gun. What more do you need to know?
Good job.
So, portrait shooter. This one's set in.
I thought they use serious sound to train, personally.
Yeah, Americans do.
Screaming dudes with bomb hands, yeah.
Yeah, this one. So the ArmA 3 is beautiful looking engine, absolutely gorgeous. You know, it's almost you could just walk around the environment and just walk around and just enjoy it and go on interior.
But no, you walk around the environments and kill people.
Well, yeah, it is. But it's set in a place called Stratus, which is a fictional island. And the idea is it's set in the future, set in 2035. You're NATO, you're part of NATO, and you're about to like you obviously tell a riffing bit off Afghanistan. It's like a forgotten war, and it's probably everybody's putting out news is sort of forgotten about. Nobody mentions it anymore, and it's basically all the last group being pulled out, and then the local forces who you've trained up to sort of help fight the insurgents turn on you. And China's
plot twist.
Yes, they turn on you. So basically, the game starts if you actually traveling to a nearby camp, sort of get out, and all of a sudden, all the camps get attacked and everyone be soldiers, and you just find yourself, you and your little trap commander, you're sort of running back to your local camp, and all of a sudden you find the local forces attacking you.
Fucking bastards! I'm striking
pretty
off my
much.
Christmas card.
But it's amazing creating stressful situations. So not long after that, your commander, minor spoilers here, gets killed by a person. Now, mine that is scripted in the game gets killed, and also you're by yourself. You're just sat there in a really hostile place. You know, there's loads of guys who are there to kill you, and you're just by yourself. So you have to go out and
time to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
But you eventually get yourself out of a little local military camp, and it's quite involved because you go on different missions, and that's like your base and where you go on different missions, and you can just like go on patrol. You can just sort of walk out the camp and just go and do a patrol on the back of the camp just to make sure it's secure, which is quite neat.
So
nice one.
ArmA 2 was the kind of skeleton for DayZ.
Yes, it was.
Now I'm curious, what the hell made you pick up ArmA 3 now? What? I mean,
I bought it ages ago.
You've only just gotten around to it.
I just got on to play. Yeah, I bought it Christmas last year when it came out.
I was going to say, one of my mates has been playing it, and I've seen him stream it, and that looked really fucking nice. But,
beautiful game, really beautiful game, and it's a lot more freeform. And what's great about it is it properly supports all your joysticks, all your steering wheel. So I've got a steering wheel, supports it perfectly. Joystick supports that perfectly.
What are you using the joystick for?
I've been using all drones to like target site people, and it's got helicopters in it. And planes in it as well.
So basically, you've got
that's quite cool. You've got your multi-purpose stuff.
It's got
it's
and submarines. You've got submarines in it. You've got planes in it. You've got everything in it.
Why
really.
you used a joystick or a steering wheel on a submarine, but that's cool.
So the joystick, it does work really well actually. It's a great little fun little game, and the great one that it's got some great features. That they've always had editor modes. So literally, you get the editor, you load up the island, and you can just like double click somewhere and say, okay, what do you want to place here? Oh, I'll just place tank there. What do you place it? Oh, place another tank. So you can just like, okay, I'm going to place 30 tanks and 30 enemy tanks and just have them fight each other.
So cool.
It's great. You can play as a rabbit if you want.
Let us hear you right.
Yes.
Very woodland creature.
Yes. You just go in.
I'm
basically
just visualising Warship down here. And
basically, what you do is when you that's a mod range to happen. Basically, when you go down, when you sort of insert your whatever it is, you can tell it if it's a player. So you can just like double click and there's like one for ambient life and you click rabbit and then you just drop down box saying it's the player.
You can become a Rambo bunny.
You can't carry weapons. You are just a rabbit, so you can just sort of hop around and sort of hop.
Hey, check it out.
Yeah, I did because you could do that in ArmA 2 as well. You could play as a goat.
Can you change the scripting on the characters so like you've got marine dudes that have the rabbit AIs, so you've got marines that hop around. That would be so cool. I'd love that.
That'd be quite cool. I remember I was playing as a goat in one of the levels. I decided to watch this big tank battle, and this is in ArmA 2. I decided I was going to play as a goat, and I was walking around as a goat, and one of the tanks just run me over. Like, it's only a goat, we'll just run it over. Yeah, but it's
Goat Simulator has trained you well, clearly.
Get him.
Pretty much, yeah. You can
just imagine some soldiers. 50 points of that go.
Well, there was I remember once there's a mode in ArmA 2 which I haven't gone off in where basically you could like pick any character, any with any sort of like weapon loadout, and then create just like generate a scenario. So like, okay, you've got 10 guys coming out, you've got to defend yourself. I just thought, lols, just try to put myself in as a goat. And it's like, okay, here's your scenario. You're being hunted by poachers. You need to get out. You need to get to a safe zone, to a nature reserve. Off you go.
I have no idea why, but for some reason I thought, you know what? I wonder if it would let me generate a scenario based on being a tree.
Maybe. You're being hunted by a man with a chainsaw and move. Oh, wait, you can't.
That'd be
but I would love some mods. What I would love a mod. A Warship Down mod sounds like a brilliant idea. We'll set to that. That would be a great mod.
Next Round Nerds podcast.
Excellent. Sounds good to me.
Warship Down ArmA edition. I would love a mod where it's like you and a group of players, but one of you's like the person being hunted. You're given a head start, but you're just given the whole free map to roam. You've got like a place to get to, but it's like randomly set to where you've got to go to, so you've got to navigate and get there. All you can have is like every so often it pings the map to show players roughly where you are, so they have to sort of converge and try and track you down. I would that'd be a cool mod to do.
Best mod ever would be Dwarf Goat Jousting. Be amazing.
Dwarf Goat Jousting.
Little dudes with spears on the back of goats. Excellent.
You've been playing World of Warcraft recently.
It sounds like sort of Warcraft stuff, doesn't it?
If I play as a dwarf in World of Warcraft,
you get goats then, yeah.
You had a ram. That's the reason I play as a dwarf, so I could get a ram mount.
We say nothing about this.
Class if you become well known in that area.
Yeah, but I don't have that much patience.
I can't be fucked to play the game.
Pretty much, I got bored of just killing things.
I just want my rad mount.
Pretty much, yeah. I basically got to the point where the mount, and basically I spent the best time running around as a
He played the game purely to get a ram mount.
I did actually, yes.
Good riding around.
I play as two things. I play as a dwarf, so I have a ram mount, and I play as a Tauren, so I can be the mount stuff look like a Highland cow.
Okay, good job.
That was it. My character was actually called Highland, and
we're never ever letting him have a DeviantArt ever, because
I can't draw you safe.
Things would happen.
I can't draw you safe. But yeah, I play as a ginger Taurian with big horns because it basically look like a Highland cow.
Allow me to set up a vanilla WoW private server again.
Yes.
That'd be so rad.
Oh yeah.
I remember trolling your guys so hard, like 'cause all of your mates from Class A,
yeah,
they all went Horde, and there were only 2 Alliance players. It was me and Scribs, and I actually went to the Undercity and ganked a lot of them.
ArmA is incredibly laggy, that server.
What race did you play?
I was Human Alliance.
Because I was a good old Horde. I had an undead warlock.
I remember actually playing on
character.
I can remember playing on a role playing server with you once, and we almost got banned pretty much straight away for trolling people.
For a long time, my main character was an undead warlock beggar, and I purposefully kept him at low level, and I just used to sit on boats and ask people money, but like in the most ridiculous way. God, it used to piss people off. It's brilliant.
I remember Chalky.
I'll do a little dance for you. Just give me a silver piece.
I remember in Guild Wars sort of dancing. Me and a friend wanted a voice chat. We were in Guild Wars. We were in the city, and we decided that we were going to try and dance simultaneously, like in sync, and we just sort of sat there, like both types of dance, and we were like, right, 3, 2, 1, both enter at the same time, and we were in perfect sync, and we just sat there doing sort of break dance, perfectly in sync with each other. This guy just walked over to us, and there's like Phil just wandering over, just watching us, 2 people, random characters dancing perfectly in sync.
I still actually play Guild Wars. Right?
And one of them said, yeah, first one to break the move dies.
Like,
pretty much, yeah. That was good fun.
That was an alright game for a buy to play.
Makes me think of that film with the Germans and the dude playing the piano. The dude playing the piano, and when he stops, they kill him.
The Producers.
Is that the one?
No, I don't think so.
No, The Producers is not that kind of film now. I like what you said.
I liked the Guild Wars up until the point I went over the war, and then I hated it.
So basically, when you had all that lush green scenery,
it was a beautiful place, and all of a sudden it's in a deserty environment.
You felt the exact same way that I did. You get to like, I don't know, level 8 or whatever. You go to join.
Yeah, you won't have things to do. You have to then say, I'm going to go fight over the war.
Yeah, and they just fucking destroy everything.
Yeah,
everything gets wrecked. It looks like shit.
Yeah, I lost interest in it then. I just sort of lost interest to play it because it was this beautiful place before, and it's like
it was nice to look, even just to look around. And
yeah, but then it just it's like I don't want to. And I got to about level think 20.
20 was the cap, dude.
Yeah, I got to. I can't now walk. I forgot level 20. I must have got to about level 10 or 12, and then I sort of lost interest. I did a few they weren't called raids, were they? The big missions where you got a big group and you had the big. They weren't called. I can't remember what they were called. But I did a few of those with a few friends. They were fun, but it just. This beautiful world just disappeared.
Made it and they fucked it up.
Yeah, and I found things to do. I was like, oh yeah, you can paint your armor. I was like, okay, I paint my armor. Now what do I do?
Because I got to the part where they said, yeah, by the way, now they recommend you have like four other people with you. And I'm like, shit, none of my mates are here. I'm stuck in this instance. Now what do I do? And it's just me, solo, having to kind of trick the game, get my AI, get one of the AI guys to follow me a little bit so that they take the other enemies. I wasn't strong enough to fight them myself.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was slightly drunk one night playing it with friends, and there was a group of us. There was 5 of us, and we were doing this mission where you had to come on, exactly. You had to sort of take off you were liberating these siege engines.
Right.
You could then bomb. What they called the Char, weren't they? The bad guys, the Char?
Dude, I can't remember that
part. And you had to bomb them to kill them all. And you could activate these siege weapons and just they blast the area. Well, I was a bit drunk and my friends all left me behind and ran ahead of me. They all ran down to the area and I thought, once if I hit the siege weapon again, and I fired it and simultaneously bombed a lot of them and killed a lot of them. And so they all got sat out this mission, and then I had to complete the mission by myself, and I managed to do it, and that was really good. I took on the final boss, and I was playing as what are they called, Rangers? The long range class.
I can't remember.
The Ranger equivalent class. I was playing as that. I was shooting the enemy. I had to keep diving because he was hurting me, and it took me about 10 minutes, but I eventually managed to kill the end boss, as it were, and complete the level. It was amazing. I was half cut, and I was pissed at the time. It was great fun.
Guild Wars 2 might actually be worth you picking up at some point.
I am tempted by it. If I played it, I'd probably join RP server. I think I enjoy that. I feel enjoyable while playing.
I was going to say,
I like getting to characters, and I think that's what I'd enjoy.
I trolled the shit out of that game. Trolled the shit out of that game when it came out. It's not bad, it's not great, but I mean, considering you don't have any subscription commitments. Then it's kind of the ultimate casual.
I remember looking at the classes and the races and stuff and just thinking, and yeah, I might have to give it a go.
Just, like I say, no subscription commitment, so it's the ultimate casual MMO kind of thing. So.
But it's quite expensive to start, isn't it?
I think it was only 20 quid.
Was it? I thought about 40.
Yeah, once upon a time.
I thought it was still about that price. Has it gone down?
I couldn't tell you now. I picked up a copy for about 20 quid.
I'll have a look.
So. All good.
There we go.
I
figured to take. No MMOs have ever really grabbed me. We've discussed it before, and they just don't grab me. It's just the way the games are designed just don't grab me.
It's boring quickly.
I'd be more interested in playing something like DayZ, where you are just a guy with a gun and off you go. Then I would buy, because it's like, okay, that's your character, off you go survive. There's no level, no stupid leveling, nothing like that, but it's just off you go. I'd be more interested in playing that than just, because since you're having level skills, all you do is grind them. It saps the fun of it. It's not just role playing.
That's kind of interesting, actually, because you're predominantly a PC gamer, and for you to come out with that just makes me think we need to get and playing some arcade games, because that's just basically what you said in a nutshell. Throw your levels and everything out of the window, just play the damn game. There you go.
Yeah, but I like 12 arcade games. I've played. Most ones I've played at home, and obviously the ports of them. They're just all all ones I've ever played have all been about, just get scores or kill loads of guys, that sort of thing. It's not only sort of proper framework to it. It hasn't felt right. That's what I do a game. I'd love the idea of a game. Basically, you're just surviving in the wild somewhere. You just have to make do with what you got around you and hunt. And it's probably
There's a couple of games.
It's probably why I like Sir, You're Being Hunted, because it is basically a little survival simulator.
There's a couple of DS games like that, isn't there, about survival, where you're on an island and you have to. There's little role-playing games. I don't know what it's called.
If it's on the eShop, I don't know.
Please leave us something in the comments. But yeah, there's a DS game that involves that.
I mean, I think, Nick, your problem with with MMOs, and same with Thorny, is you're not playing with the right people. I mean, I don't have some of my fondest memories of Final Fantasy 14.
I have to admit, I liked Warcraft. I had some good memories of Warcraft to begin with. Vanilla WoW. Like, after that, it became the, but yeah.
Like, at one point, I hated WoW, but when my mate said, look, we're all going to get together and we're all going to play, I was like, this is fucking brilliant. Weren't the game, fuck the story. Me and 4 or 5 friends just running around.
I probably would enjoy that, yes. I probably would enjoy running around, but I don't know how long I would be able to keep that momentum going of enjoyment before I lose interest in it. There'd be something more to it than just kill, raise your stats, get your skill levels up.
Dicking around in the world is the main thing when you're playing a game like that. Just messing around and
can't really dick around in the world, really. You do. It's just
you can if you're your mates and there's other people playing and stuff, and then you just sort of end up having a laugh.
But the dicking around seems to me just be going just attacking random people. That just
no, not always.
Fairness, isn't that what most games are? Stealth around, kill that, move on.
Pretty much. A lot of games are just about fighting and killing stuff, isn't it?
Level up your stats, move on. So really, the only difference, one of them's online with loads of people that can fucking troll your ass, or you've got the single solid wander around. Hopefully, no one decides to make a multiplayer mod for your wonderful single player campaign.
Yeah, but it's probably what for the single player ones than the multiplayer ones.
That's why you have to play with the right people.
It has to have an atmosphere to it. So some of my favourite games have an atmosphere to them. When you're in them, you feel like the world is actually there. So we're talking earlier about Stalker, has an atmosphere to it.
Down the pub, by the way.
Yeah.
And it has when you're in it, you're in the game, you're your character, and that is a basic survival game. You know, you're going around, you hunt, you can sort of still. You have to
I'm just thinking great comedy potential here. Setting it up with a Second Life account. Oh my god, can you imagine?
Oh, the gold.
Just the reactions from the people he'd meet would be brilliant. What's this? Oh my god, what's going on here? Like,
yeah.
Maybe I just not to sound like I'm trolling or anything. I just don't think Nick's really all that suited to MMOs.
No, I'm not. I'm not. No, I freely admit it. I'm not an MMO. They're not my thing.
I can get along with them,
isn't my thing.
but they're not really my cup of tea either. I mean, I can get on with MMO. I can play one, but I get bored of them quite quickly. I have to admit. Like I said, WoW is the only one that's ever managed to hold my attention for any length of time. I don't know what it is about Warcraft that made it hold my attention for so long. It never has managed to.
WoW was decent with mates. Final Fantasy 11 originally was brilliant because fuck, that game was hard. You died.
I like to look at some of the classes and stuff in that.
You leveled down. That game was fucking brilliant.
Nice.
I just remember, like, everyone, you'd kind of ding and everyone would ding. You've spent ages getting this group together. Everyone dings, they level up, they're all sticking together. And then some poor bastard dies. They level down, all the gear they've just picked up is fucking useless, and they get booted out of the group. Fucking brilliant. I absolutely love it. Final Fantasy 14 I have been sat on the edge of my seat. Me, my mates, my wife, just sat down, fucking playing these games. Any game I think that's cross-platform as well, any MMO cross-platform, fucking edge of our seats. Secret World is another one where I've got amazing memories of that game.
Yeah, I've heard lots of good things about Secret World.
Fuck the game and the story. We trolled that game hard. Me, Inky, Vaughn, Zaber. I think it was only like the second dungeon, but we had the Benny Hill theme on in the background, just running around trying to dodge all the AoEs. Hilarious live stream.
I would love an MMO where if you died, your character was deleted.
Yeah, permadeath has happened in a few games.
Yeah, permadeath's been in games before.
Wurm Online had permadeath. I think.
I don't know.
What?
Wurm Online was a fancy MMO, very low quality, made by like a small group of people. But the idea was you weren't like some mixed hero, you're just a person living in the fantasy world. So like, you had to, you just had to like, oh, I've got to go get some wood now to make a fire, and you could like build a house and stuff. It's just basically you just lived in this fantasy world. You're just a normal person. Yeah. But if you died, you died. That was your character gone.
Didn't what was the original Star Wars MMO?
Galaxies.
Yeah. Didn't that have a form of permadeath if you managed to roll a Jedi?
You had to get Jedi like later though, didn't you? On
Like,
that game? You had to
They
work
changed it. They
towards becoming
changed
a
it.
Jedi.
It used
to begin with.
originally, Jedi was something that you had to. It was
Obtain.
I think you had a secret set of skills you had to get. You had like get your skills to certain levels first, but they were hidden what they were, and then it was random.
Because I think because you ended up when you roll the character at the start of the game, you would have been. Some of them were lucky enough to have kind of dinged that little box to say, "Hey, yo, you can be a Jedi." And then at a certain point, bam! All of a sudden, you're a Jedi.
But I think you had to fulfill certain requirements.
Yeah,
first.
you weren't like instantly a Jedi, but you had to roll a kind of specific. Like you had to be lucky enough to get it.
And everybody
Adventures of a
complained.
Tusken Raider. That's all I'd have been interested in.
Everybody complained about it, so
then they let everyone.
Then it made the game, ruined it, and made it rubbish.
Yeah.
So I played it afterwards. And was like, "This sucks."
That's the really big trouble though of MMOs, and that everybody's got to be a hero in a lot of MMOs. They think everybody's like, but they don't realise. In actual fact, what makes a hero is the fact that most people aren't.
Yeah, if you played, it's not quite like that. But the Lord of the Rings MMO, the storyline makes it very obvious that you're doing stuff alongside, like with the actual ring quest taking place. That your guys, although they are like strong characters, like if you've got your captains, the wizard that you play isn't actually a wizard. He's like an alchemist, and he uses alchemy tricks to make spells.
Yeah.
And all the other characters in it were just sort of background characters that were helping in war effort against the orcs and the trolls and whatnot. Yeah, which was quite interesting. I quite
just
liked
want
that.
to be just a guy. I know it sounds really odd, but it's something I just want to be a guy. It's part of what I've been slightly intrigued by. If it wasn't so daunting to get into, I've been intrigued by like Eve, because you can just like be. I'm just going to be a miner and just a merchant and make money that way.
Yeah, see, I like that. I'd love to be able to play a game, an MMO, as like a patrician. You got like some merchant that becomes really well known, and you've got trade caravan. That would be very cool. I'd enjoy that.
Not to sound like I'm taking the piss out of WoW fans here, but that's pretty much how I felt with WoW. I wasn't a fucking hero. I was just one of many people running around trying to make.
But the trouble with WoW was that it made out that you were one, but you didn't feel like one. That was its big trouble. So you're going to be the bravest Tauren of them all, or whatever is of them all, but you weren't. You're just like another cookie-cutter character who just like sort of come off the production line of.
Don't shatter my dreams, Nick.
But if
Don't do it. My undead was like the best undead of all zombies. He was the king.
Yeah, until you find like one's the exact same level as you, with the exact same equipments, and they think they're the king as well.
Maybe the zombies stink. Yeah, man, I'm the coolest zombie in my head.
Explain a lot.
WoW just lost its charm after vanilla.
It did.
So I remember when you first
Burning
logged into
Crusade
that
was
game,
good, but once it moved into the Lich
Wrath
King
of
one,
Lich King.
that was when it went
Can
down.
I say the story for Wrath was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But poorly executed, in my opinion. I mean, I had a vanilla character got permabanned.
The story in Warcraft does make me sort of facepalm quite a bit, though. Like from Warcraft 3, with like all the things with Arthas becoming and they went full on ridiculous with the other guy, the elf. What was his name? Illidan. Because Illidan was kind of like a sympathetic, tragic hero, wasn't it? And then he went the other way and became just full on ridiculous evil, and it didn't really work. That story was very odd.
The thing I like about Warcraft 3 was the cutscenes. Some of the cutscenes were absolutely beautiful, wasn't it?
For the time, yeah, definitely.
That's what I really liked about some of the things in WoW. They actually gave you just a cinematic. You got fuck all over the rest of the game, but the cinematics they gave you when you kind of put the disc in and start installing the game, you're like, this actually looks really nice. Until Shovelface Deathwing turned up.
I really liked the way they expanded on some of the characters. I love the fact the trolls with your makeup was very cool. I like their whole style. The trolls were awesome in that game.
I'll tell you something that really sucks.
Yeah, it's like Warcraft 3, they were Jamaican, weren't they?
Yeah.
We were trolls in the we were in the starter zone still when Cataclysm struck. Me and Inky we'd made troll characters. We played.
Yeah, I had a troll side character. Yeah.
And we were still going through the starter zone. We hadn't really gone to like anything big in the world. All of a sudden, we logged fucking back in. 2/3 of the shit we were doing gone.
Huh.
WoW for me died when they made it so that you didn't have to do the random side quests to advance your character. So for me, some of my favorite memories of WoW back in the vanilla days as a warrior were that I'd have to go to a random little island just off the side of where the hordes start or the main horde city. I can't remember what the fuck it's called. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
been so long since I played. But
Ogrimmar?
That's what
yeah,
I was just thinking.
there's a little tiny island just off the side. There's a warrior there, a human warrior that trains you to use whirlwind, I think it was. And by the time Cataclysm hit, you didn't have to do that anymore. You just
No.
fucking go to a skill train and bam. there
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
boring, isn't it? It
Yeah.
removes like the lore
It's
aspect.
Characters basically made the game ultra casual.
Well, ultra casual as long as you didn't mind with the gear grind and the constant
But one
PvP.
says you didn't have to think about it too much.
I just preferred it. I just
Yeah, well,
I
it adds
felt
an
like I
extra
was
layer
doing
of
something.
atmosphere, doesn't it? You're
I-
going to a guy
yeah.
to learn a skill.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
rather that he's teaching you to use this skill. But whereas if you just go on a train and click on a button, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
now I can
played
do this.
I played an MMO called Repels. It's a Korean MMO.
Love
And
them
the
Korean
name's
MMOs.
familiar. I think I've heard of
A
it.
few friends said, "Oh yeah, you need to get Repels. It's great." And the big and basically, I said, "Oh yeah, the level cap is like level cap's 128."
I don't know.
So I played it, and I got to about level 20, and all I was doing was it was just constantly every quest was okay, go kill 20 of these, go this, and I spoke to my friend. Yeah, I spoke to my friend. And said, "So when does the story quest start?" Well, to be honest, that's all you do is just kill first. So literally the whole game is just kill, 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 kill. Yeah. It's like, and this is fun. Why?
Can I just say the average MMO player doesn't actually read the story? One thing that pisses me off with Final Fantasy XIV is the amount of people that will literally just sit there and hammer the escape button when some story comes up. I'll tell you something. I've got before one of my hard drives failed, I had nearly like a terabyte of video of me and Inky playing Final Fantasy XIV. I loved that game so much, and I thought I would hate A Realm Reborn, which was the reboot. The original Final Fantasy XIV, like, it tanked hard. I thought it was fucking brilliant, but people really didn't like it all that much. I've got some of my closest friends from playing that game, but A Realm Reborn came out, started playing it. Holy fucking crap! Game was amazing, absolutely amazing. And I can remember I had a capture card that would capture to SD cards, but it would only capture in like 12-minute segments, and so because that would skip, and I fucking hated it when footage would skip. The little bug in my head does that, and I would literally sit there whilst I'm playing this game, and I'm like, fuck, right, the quest is about to start, bam, hit that record button, and I'd be watching it. So right, stop. I'd have to make sure I did the quest within like 12 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had, and like memory cards would just feels like, stop guys, I've got to unload the footage. And I loved that game so much. I actually sit there and watch us just doing quests over and over again, just hearing us screaming over the microphones and trolling people. But such a good game.
Yeah. I think what I say about Storm games is indicates why I'm not a fan of MMOs. So I like a bit of story in my games, and they just don't.
Then you have to get into the right MMOs.
Yeah.
That'd be Guild Wars, Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah. Did Terra have much of a forced story?
I didn't play Terra.
Because wow, I just don't like the way people skip a lot.
The ones
of
I
story.
played,
If they're going to spend so much time writing the fucking story, pay attention.
I played Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's
WoW.
actually something in Guilds, because in the Guilds you used to have you literally get to the end cutscene, all of a sudden you just have on your screen, so-and-so's decide want to skip this cutscene, so-and-so wants to skip, and you just get four.
We used to have that in, some people did that in Final Fantasy XIV. People that had already done the dungeons, for example, would say, oh, I'm just going to skip this cutscene. They'd skip the cutscene, and then all of a sudden the barrier would come up. So that if you weren't already there, or you died, you couldn't respawn and come back into the battle. So you only had one shot at the battle. Me being the tank and Inky being the healer, some people just leave us fucking behind. It's like, you can't do the fight without the tank and the healer, you dumbasses. Stop skipping the stories. Oh, it's fucking not important. It's like, it's not important to you. Get the fuck out of my party.
Yeah.
Kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's like,
not all of us are into gear grinding. Some of us actually want to, see the story.
I want
that's what games should be.
Atmosphere and stories, and a good atmosphere will do me.
From what I understand, then, what was the new one that came out? Wildstar? Wildstar?
I got beta on Wildstar.
The one that's on, is that the one on Nexus that takes place on Nexus or whatever it's called? Apparently that game is all end game. The story means fuck all.
It
So
does,
basically,
yeah.
they've written this wonderful little script, tons of lore and shit in the background.
Me
Going
shit,
through it,
yeah.
we're just skipping it. The whole thing. It's like, then what the hell was the point?
There were aspects of WildStar I liked because I got beta on WildStar and played it for a bit. I'm assuming we can talk about it now because at the time we weren't able to. That was like, no, you must talk about this.
That you had access to a beta.
Yeah, because I was a tester on to begin with and got the beta.
Oh, I assumed you had access to the Elder Scrolls Online beta. That's what
No, it wasn't.
God,
Elder Scrolls.
people hated that game too.
It was WildStar.
Yeah,
I've got a man who loves that game, Elder Scrolls.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, but he loves it.
I know so many people that bought like the fucking premium shit they got in there, and they're like, oh my god, this game's amazing, and then 2 weeks later they leave it.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you
Well,
guys.
I mean, WildStar had some nice things. I liked how cartoony it wasn't silly, and it had like sort of a comedy value to it.
It
But
looked like WoW.
it was like wow, it was
graphically.
WoW in space basically. That is what it was. It was WoW in space. I think that was what drew a lot of people to it. Is it was similar to WoW. It had some nice ideas. Some of the levels looked really nice. There was the housing aspect was really good. Like you had like you could live in houses and stuff, like you could in like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and other games. But the way it was done was quite good because your character, rather than having, you had like blacksmiths and stuff in WoW, you had your jobs. The jobs in this affected other things and affected how you played.
Mm-hmm.
So you had your class, and then to the side of that you'd have whatever your little thing is, and like you could be an explorer, and explorers could get to certain parts of the map that other people couldn't. And then there was, and what was the other one? There was the scientist, and they could analyze plants and get certain things that other characters couldn't. But it expanded it a bit more. It was interesting. It had interesting ideas, but essentially it was flawed. It, like you say, it was all endgame. There wasn't really much to it.
See, a lot of MMO players that I come across are like, oh man, yeah, it's all about the fucking game. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about it. Just fucking power through.
Yeah.
You know life for the next week. You're at
do
the
you know
end
what?
game.
That's all I got told when I was playing WoW was, once you get to level 80, it's good.
Yeah, I always heard
Oh,
that.
for God's sake, I've got that level bloody 80.
Can I just say that was one of the worst things for me and Inky? I mean, we did hit level cap. One of the few times I hit level cap without getting fucking wrecked by the company that ran the game. We actually had fun playing all the way through though. Vashjir was probably one of the best places we actually played in. I think that was in Qatar.
I was about to jump in and actually say a game has to be kind of aesthetically good to be good, especially with an MMO. What I did like at WildStar is it did look nice. There were some nice areas in it, and some of the areas you were in were very nice. There was a little foresty area you had, and the race that lived there had a specific way of building, like architecture and stuff, and I liked it. It looked really nice. And WoW, very similarly, had areas that looked damn lush at the time.
It was a nice game, but again, most people say, "Oh, but yeah, but you've not had the fun, the true experience until you've had like a 20-man raid or whatever." It's like, fuck off.
But my argument is, so how many hours have I got into to get that experience?
Shit done.
See,
Exactly. If I could have, if there was an option to say, start the game, okay, the great fun happens at level 80, okay, I'll spend 15 quid and I'll be a straight away level 80 character.
Actually, that's what a lot of people trolled Guild Wars 2, 4. And they're like, oh yeah, well they'll probably have something that'll allow you to experience boost and all that crap and hit level cap.
When WoW first came out,
the problem that a lot of people have with unlocks like that in games, I can't remember if Guild Wars 2 actually had that or not, so if someone's going to shout at me for it, but there were some games that had, hey, unlock, level cap. You don't learn your class, so no one will play with you if you don't know.
No, you have
You'll then find you may be level 80, but if you're a nub, no one will play with you.
But there's got to be a balance between, if I want to spend like 200 or 300 hours to get to that level, that's just...
Then you need to play the casuals MMO, stuff like Guild Wars 2.
Yeah,
see, I mean, one thing that got me to play, or maybe want to play Warcraft, I remember looking at all the websites of it when it first came out, and it was one of my first proper big 3D MMO experiences. I really have to sort of give this a go. Like Nick was saying before, I really liked the idea that I could see all the job things and stuff, and was like, oh, this is pretty cool, so I don't just have to fight, I can do other stuff as well. And the whole thing that got me into it was being able to explore the world. The world was so big, you can go anywhere, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. And then I can then do jobs and stuff and do different things and interact with the game in my own way. And obviously, it was partly there, but it turned into like just grinding and killing stuff, and
Yeah.
it was like, you know, I'm liking it. I'm liking the fact that the world is big and I can explore it. I can do all these different things, but at the same time,
I think the whole level cap thing, having to get to level to experience stuff, is probably the only MMO I've really actually enjoyed is Planet Side 2. Is because even if you start the game, if you're level 1, you can still kill somebody a lot higher level than you.
Mm-hmm.
You can still do it if you get right. You can still kill. And I
No, we just said gone from MMORPG to MMOFPS.
Yeah. But it's an MMO, so. And I love that because it was like, okay, I don't know why there's no. I'm not going to say, okay, you can't go to this area to your level 80. It's not that rubbish. I can get straight away, fight from the very start. I'm off there. And I'm taking people out 10 levels higher than me. Great fun. It's and you know I'm still an experienced, and I actually enjoyed that. It's just a pity the combat wasn't more engaging. If it had been more engaging, a bit bangy, I'd have probably enjoyed it more.
that's the best description I've ever heard. If the combat were a bit more bang, I'd enjoy it more.
Well, it's funny actually because I was thinking back. I mean,
This combat doesn't have enough kablam for me.
more like sort of Battlefield style combat, sort of. You know, what's being explained. It feels more engaging. Well, actually,
Michael Bay, the game.
Actually, my favorite online shooter I used to play a lot was Delta Force Black Hawk Down.
All right.
I used to play that a lot online. I really enjoyed that, and that's where
I used to play
lost
Soldier
out.
of Fortune a lot purely because I like shooting the flamethrower guys in the back and watching them blow up. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I love the best thing I love about Pirate Side is you can launch an area by a drop pod. And then you click on the area, you double click, and then all of a sudden you've just got this big area where you can see the battle raging underneath you, everything, all the players, everything, all the ships flying over, and you just sort of air dropping down. If you aim really carefully, you can land on top of somebody and kill them. Then it's even better when you play as a sniper and you saw these drop pods coming in, and someone's obviously place it where you think, no one's going to see me here. You're just like, okay, here you come, boom, dead.
Didn't Planets have a subscription once upon a time?
Yes, the first one did. Then the second one is completely
56k.
Yeah, first one was subscription based. It's now free to play, or it's completely free. The second one is free to play with microtransactions. Having said that, the transactions they tend to be mainly monthly like experience boosters.
Are you talking about Planet Side 1 or 2?
2. I'm referring to Planet Side 2.
You give memories
Right,
of
so make sure they
tribes
Planet
now.
Side 2.
See, I did have a
Similar
look
sort of
at
thing.
it, but I just... One thing. Tribes was cool.
Yeah, tribes was cool.
Love Tribes. Tribes.
Tribes.
It's a good game.
Excellent. Well, after our MMO section, which I don't think we were planning to have,
We didn't. Just
it's
happened.
just sort of
Momo the podcast.
I think that all came from rabbits.
Yeah. We need
Warship
to have
down
a
the MMO.
Warship, yeah.
We need to have a server. Something. I don't know what we need to have a server. Or if not, we'll all jump in Guild Wars 2 because we're all okay.
We're going to play Day 2 now as well. Now we've all got it.
Yes, we have. I forgot about that.
Still haven't done it on yet.
No.
Then again, my PC's probably like to catch fire after this podcast. So.
Good.
It's all good.
Excellent.
They've now got stretch goals. So apparently Hoxton will be playable when stretch goals are made. So, for something.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Magic stress goals.
So basically, the stretch goal is to...
Oh, the stretch goal was to actually to get so many people to like the Overkill Steam group, I think it was. And when so many people have liked it, stuff will unlock.
Oh,
So,
that sort
yeah.
of thing.
That's what they're doing at the
I
moment.
had a sort of
Get your
thing,
friends to like the Steam group.
I had a sort of thing where it's like, yeah, we won't... It's like when you see those games where... Okay, if we'll release a new screenshot of 100 people will like us on Facebook, so I'll piss off. Piss off, I'm not going to do that.
This character will bear all if you like this page.
Yeah, piss off.
Nick
I
is such a nice person.
Got something out of it, so when I
I think a character bearing all is getting something out of it for
Yeah,
most
but I mean,
gamers.
well, I'll
living in their
tell you,
basements.
when I
Depends on the character.
when they're releasing Bioshock Infinite, if you pre-ordered it, if enough people pre-ordered, you got like 3 games. So I pre-ordered it, and when I pre-ordered, I got a free copy of XCOM, which was at 30 quid at the time. I got it completely free. I got a copy of Bioshock, which I gave to somebody else because I already had it. But like, that's a reward. That's okay. It's a reward. Okay, it's been incentive, but I was going to order it anyway. But I got a free game of it. It's fine.
And then you got Bioshock Infinite, and it all
But I
went
like
downhill from there.
Bioshock Infinite. So.
I don't like pre-orders. I don't like store specific.
I've pre-ordered a couple of things before, but never with
DLC.
bonuses, just because I've wanted the game.
It annoys me it
That nice
promotes
little bonus to
releasing a
have.
shit product. You know, because they've already got the cash for it, so they'll release shit.
Yeah.
Just buy it when it comes out, even if you buy it day one. Stop allowing these.
Kickstarter our game.
Just oh my god! I heard that someone actually the Yogscast
Yogscast
doing a
game,
game and
yeah.
it fucking fell through.
They didn't even have any work or anything done on it somewhere.
I don't know. All I heard is they spent every single fucking. That was too big for all the money that we got. So fuck off, guys! Holy shit! You don't deserve a game.
No.
No.
No offense, guys.
You should
Fuck
you shouldn't be going on to Kickstarter with a game not even started yet. You should have the bare grounds there. You say, okay, this is what we've done so far. Have a look at it. If you think it's got potential, okay.
Actually,
I can remember seeing this Kickstarter. For, I think it was like a guy board game or a card game or something like that. He's like, yeah, I got the money for the Kickstarter. You know, it was great. Fucking, we had all the money, the entire budget we had it there. But it turns out that moving house, moving city, and all that cost a lot more than you expect. I was like, what the fuck are you using the Kickstarter money for personal shit for, you prick? It's like, well, it's like, no, you've just gone and fucking burnt the entire point of the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
That was for your project. You've put it in your back pocket. You've made no end of fucking excuses. Go kill yourself.
Yeah, that's.
Nick agrees on the go
I
kill
do,
yourself
actually.
as well.
No, I'm not saying on the go kill yourself, but I do think that using Kickstarter as a way to. Well, fortunately, that's what Kickstarter. You got to be aware of Kickstarter.
Who's that chap that was? He wanted to do. He wanted to do a movie? But it was already pretty fucking loaded. Scrubs guy.
alright, I don't know, but...
Zach Baff?
So everyone ripped into him because he wanted to make a movie or a series, or I can't remember what it was he wanted to make from Kickstarter. I think it was Video Games the Movie or something like that.
Right.
But fucking people ripped into him and they're like, oh my god, you cunt, you've got loads of money, why don't you fund it out of your own pocket? At least the dude delivered, from what I understand. I actually watched Video Games the Movie recently. It's alright.
Yeah.
It's weird to see characters from Scrubs, like loads of the different people who played characters in Scrubs appeared in the
Well,
in the
makes sense.
documentary.
Obviously had the-
As long as Dr. Kelsey's in it, I'm happy.
No, he wasn't.
No!
What about
I'm
the
not
janitor?
watching.
Was the janitor in it?
No.
Oh, for
the
God's
dude who
sake.
plays Turk,
Ugh.
Zach Braff, I think someone else was in it.
He's boring.
Is it Zach Braff? Am I saying
Zach Baff is the mate was saw the mate.
Dorian.
Was JD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an alright film, though. A bit long-winded, like the first last part. Right. Just saying. There's my review. Shall we move on
Yeah.
from MMO and ranty McTrolls
Yes,
and
I think
the
I do.
podcast?
Okay, stuff we're looking forward to.
There's not enough alcohol in this podcast.
No.
Thought you should have another birthday.
Yeah. So we've got our birthday.
Naming
coming up in
day
2
2.
weeks.
Oh yeah, the
Electric
podcast is
Boogaloo.
almost a
A
fucking...
year old in 2 weeks' time.
Well, excuse to
Well, actually,
take
this
on
time
podcast,
last year, we
right.
actually recorded the very first episode.
Everyone get pissed! Celebrate!
Sounds good to me.
There will be cake.
Yeah, honestly. The cake is a lie. I know it already.
Oh,
I know
don't be
you...
passionate.
I fucking know how you play the game, Nick. I know how you play the game. There will be no cake.
There will be cake.
I'll just be thrown into a furnace.
Incinerator. But don't worry, your beer will survive. All glass bottles are rated to 2,500 degrees Kelvin.
Rad.
Perfect.
Cool.
Stuff looking forward to. Luke.
Oh, great. Make him. So,
You're up.
well, that's kind of weird because we said that we were going to be talking about the Pi and we spoilt it. So, I've been playing with the Raspberry Pi and I've wanted a little teeny tiny HDMI monitor for the longest fucking time. But anything around 7 to 9 inches in an HDMI monitor is really fucking expensive. And it has a really shitty resolution. Like, oh yeah, HDMI monitor, standard def.
That's not HDMI, is it really?
Oh, it's HDMI because HDMI supports all kinds of resolutions, but still, standard def. But I'm saying things to myself, not for that amount of money, I ain't, Sonny. So, the Raspberry Pi's kind of kickstarted a lot of really low-cost solutions. Lots of businesses have sprung up out of nowhere out of this little tiny credit card-sized computer that costs a lot more to run then you'd expect. You have to buy a case, you have to buy a keyboard and mouse, and then people don't factor this as also £21 computer. Sure it is, until you buy keyboard, mouse, memory cards, and all that kind of stuff. It costs £70. That's not as cheap as they said. No, they never said that the
keyboard
to be fair, they were just saying the whole point was to make a cheap computer.
Yeah. So, you know.
It's just people don't realise that a computer is just...
Yeah, exactly. Look, I don't expect, you know, Cooler Master to say, well, hang on a minute, my Cooler Master case cost me £100. Why does it cost me loads of extra money for hard drives, motherboards, processors? Stupid assholes. Anyway, so HDMI screens, because I've wanted one for my cameras, because it'd be nice to have an actual, like a field monitor, so I can see what my camera sees, and I can adjust focus and exposure and stuff like that. Use it for my quadricopter. Use it for the Raspberry Pi. Maybe even set them up, because you can run HDMI little tiny monitors off of batteries, so that you can put them in cars and things. Maybe have one of them for my kids.
Right.
And one of my subscribers on YouTube, a good mate of ours, Jet, he sent me a message saying, "Look, dude, seriously, what about this thing that's been kickstarted called the HDMI Pi?" It was a screen that was to be designed really just for the Raspberry Pi. They were saying, look, your Raspberry Pi is great, but you really need a screen to get going with a lot of these things. And you don't really want to take your 20-inch monitor to a programming jam, That's kind of dumb, having to lug all this extra equipment. How cool would it be if you had an HDMI monitor around about 9 inches that didn't cost you an arm and a leg and actually functioned like it should? Take all the crap off of it and remake the board. So they did. I don't know exactly who's behind the project, but it's one of the guys from Raspberry TV, Pi Moroni, and another company who was actually a pretty big player in the project.
Right.
They've actually gone and made a little HDMI screen, 9 inches. It's 1280 by 800. Runs off batteries and 5-volt power and stuff like that, really, for the Pi. And it looks like, if anyone has seen a Pi Moroni or Pimoroni Pi case, Nick and Bard, Ram and Bard have seen the that really colourful rainbow case, the plastic thing. The casing is actually made by the same guys that did that. They made a little screen just like that for about £75. Oh. Whereas the average HDMI screen of around 9 inches tends to clock in at about £150.
That's pretty cool.
Sub HD.
Right.
It was kind of an impulse buy, because I was like, I haven't really got the money for it, but I was like, I'm sat here with my Pi, I've got it rigged up to my 1080p display. I'm actually spending a fair bit of cash running my display all the time, and all I was literally doing was typing in text commands. So I thought, you know what, fuck, I need a little monitor for my cameras and that, as I said. I'll put in some cash for this. It's due to ship within the next 2 to 4 weeks. They've had a few board revisions, because they basically started with a driver board, but it had like DVI and all this other crap on it that they didn't need for the Pi. So they've kind of remodeled it, stripped all the extra shit off and cut down costs. Because of that, it should be done within the next 2 to 4 weeks. I'm really looking forward to it, because I'll have a little multi-purpose screen that I could possibly run off of a solar panel. So, because I actually tested the Pi on one of those external mobile phone batteries.
Yeah.
I think it was a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. I had the thing running for about 22 hours on one of those little phone batteries, and I was kicking the shit out of it. I wasn't letting it idle. Browsing the web's pretty hardcore on the Pi, downloading torrents, watching 1080p video, that kind of stuff the entire time. And someone's going, how can you run that for 22 hours? I had video playing overnight whilst I was sleeping in that. 20-something odd hours on a little battery, plus say maybe another battery for the screen. Rig up a solar panel. That thing's going to run for fucking ever. I just thought it was rad.
Yeah, it's pretty
actually.
£75. HDMI screen. I will talk about it more when I actually get it, but I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on one.
Yeah, it looks good.
Put out the cash as soon as they
send it through. A little video of one, perhaps.
As soon as I will do it, because I am trying to get my hands on this. Really am.
Excellent.
Really cool.
Nice.
Excellent.
One.
Look it up. HDMI Pi.
Link in the show notes.
Yes.
Bard.
Right. Yes. My piece for this is the August the 4th Nintendo Direct. because the Order of the Fall Nintendo Direct is going to be exclusively focused on the upcoming Hyrule Warriors game, which, for those who don't know, is the Koei Tecmo link with Nintendo to create a Zelda sort of Warriors game. Now, the Warriors series being what we've spoken about before, Dynasty Warriors,
And what was the other one?
Samurai Warriors. They did One Piece Pirate Warriors, it's all based around the One Piece anime.
Gundam.
Yeah,
It's
Gundam
both
one,
Gundam.
and then they did Warriors of Orochi, didn't they? Which is where they all sort of mixed together and fight demons. Yeah, interesting. But this is Hyrule Warriors, and I have to say, from my point of view, it looks like one of the best Warriors games so far. I've been waiting to buy a Wii U for a long time now. I just haven't had enough reason to take the plunge so far. I like the new Mario game that came out.
3D World.
Yeah, 3D World. Yeah, I
Last
really enjoyed.
year or something like that.
Yeah, was it around Christmas?
Or it might have been Saturday,
Might have been earlier than that. Maybe I think Christmas was when I played it with somebody else and really enjoyed multiplayer on it. Wonderful 101. I really wanted to get as well.
Weren't too fun.
No.
The kids
you
like
get into
it.
Yeah.
Considering it's a 12 game and my kids are nearly 4 and now 5.
Yeah.
They think it's fucking brilliant. The superheroes game they call
Yeah.
it.
Excellent.
I haven't really been given a chance to actually.
But
play
I
it
suppose,
myself,
like from my perspective, I'm a big fan of Kamiya, like the guy who made it, and I'm a big fan of Henshin Heroes, which is like the Japanese superheroes that transform, like Kamen Rider and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, it's like a love letter to all those kind of things, and I kind of enjoy that.
I think I'd enjoy it if I actually got a chance to play it.
Yeah. I think you like a lot of the sense of humour and stuff in it.
Oh, it's
very
fucking hilarious. The
Yeah.
stuff that I've seen, but I've literally had to see the first 2 levels about 1,000,000 times.
Oh right, yeah.
My typical
I can
kids
see
like,
how that might
it's
go.
amazing.
But yeah, after the whole E3 Nintendo thing wowed me, and Hyrule Warriors was shown, and I was like, wow, this looks fantastic. So I love Zelda, and I love Dynasty Warriors kind of games, but the last few Zelda games haven't really done much for me at all. I think the last one I actually enjoyed was the Wind Waker. What I've played of it, I kind of liked. I haven't played
so
much
you're
of that
basically
one.
saying anything from Twilight Princess.
I hated Twilight Princess. I thought it was awful. I can't stand that game.
Twilight Princess and
Skyward Sword.
Yeah, dude, seriously, I got Skyward Sword Collector's Edition. Haven't even put it in my system yet.
I don't hate.
like the soundtrack,
I don't
yes.
hate it, but it's not as good as other Zelda games. The first time I saw this, I thought, wow, Link looks fantastic. That's the best looking Link I've seen so far. It probably harks back to that old school looking Link. Just
I thought it was a combination of an old school Link
OT
and
Link?
what the fuck was it? What game was it? It might have actually been Twilight Princess with the little scarf, the blue scarf, because Link wears a blue tunic in the start of.
yeah, he has the little when he's a farmer and that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Makes me think of. I think this is one of the reasons I love it so much, other than obviously being this link between Zelda and Dynasty Warriors. Is every time I see videos for it, takes me back to watching the Zelda cartoon, and it's got that colourful look to it. It's really colourful. I love colourful games. I'm a sucker for games that are really colourful. The whole style of it looks fantastic. Yeah. This whole Nintendo Direct is going to focus on it, and recently they've released a trailer which showcases all the new characters. I believe the main new ones we had were Princess Ruto, which is the what are they called?
Zoras.
That's
and then
it.
you've got the King of the Gorons.
The King of Gorons, Darunia, who looks awesome with his battle hammer.
You've got the geezers from Twilight Princess, the Princess Midna.
Oh yeah, Princess Midna, and then the evil fish dude.
Yeah, and then you've got the guys from Skyward Sword are in it as well.
Yeah,
I can't remember
Kirahim, the
name.
villain, and Fi, the Master Sword, isn't it? That's what the sword turns into. They're
I'd
in
have to
it.
play it to know.
And then you've got Sheik as well, so Zelda
Yes.
can transform into Sheik, which looks interesting.
Well, no, is it Sheik or is it her grandmother?
Oh no, Emperor's in it as well.
Yeah.
Emperor and Sheik are both in it. But from what I've seen of the trailer, or what I can surmise from the trailer, it
Is
looks.
a bit thin.
Yeah. Well, what I can surmise from some of the bits in the trailer is that there's a little story bit, and like the Zelda at the beginning of the game is actually going to be a fake, because it looks like when Sheik turns up, Sheik is actually Zelda in disguise, as it was no OT. And the Zelda you start with may possibly be like a Dark Zelda or something. And
All right.
yeah. From everything I've seen from it so far, I'm loving the look of it. I love the look of the weapons, the fact that Link has multiple weapons. He can use bombs. He can use the gauntlets from OOT. He can now pick up the big black pillars that you had and swing them round.
Someone has said to me that's he's seen wearing the power glove. I was like, I haven't seen him wearing the power glove.
No, he's not wearing a power glove. He's wearing the gloves that from OOT that let you lift. And they were in Link to the Past as well, weren't they? Were they called power gloves in Link to the Past?
I have no
I can't remember.
But you could pick up the big, heavy green.
Yeah, rocks, and then there were grey ones, and then gold ones later, which meant you could pick the black rocks up. But what I thought was interesting is he comes across a gigantic mace and he can't lift it. So he actually puts two and two together and thinks, I've got rock throwing gloves, I'll use them to lift it. So he's wielded this gigantic flail, which looks so much fun. We've seen him using the bombs to blow up walls and stuff. It looks like Dynasty Warriors with a twist, which is what really interests me in it. Like the fact that it's going to focus more on other things than just the...
So, I'll agree with you that the twist bit looks interesting, but I think as a kind of a Dynasty Warriors spin, I don't think it's going to hold. Because it's not going to be like Dynasty Warriors Gundam that takes place over a billion different universes.
Well, yeah, and obviously Gundam based around warfare, isn't it? Whereas like Dynasty Warriors is and Samurai Warriors is as well. But...
My idea is that the whole Dynasty Warriors Gundam series, you've got the original Gundam series, you've got G Gundam, Gundam Wing, Gundam Seed. You've literally got a butt-ton of suits to choose from, a butt-ton of characters to choose from, loads of random characters all mixed in from loads of different games and series and stuff like that. Zelda is actually pretty thin on the character front.
There is a lot of characters for the game at the moment, though. There's a couple of female characters I can't place the names of that have been added. Like you said, this Impa is in there. You've got Zelda, you've got Link, you've got Sheik, Ruto, Darunia, villain from Twilight Princess.
So I probably say that, again, people will probably shout at me for this. I'm seeing probably no more than 15 characters, 20 characters, not including palette swaps and DLCs.
There's something along those lines so far. But
if that comes to be...
There's more being introduced all the time, though. That trailer I showed you is a very recent one, and they've only just added like about 10 characters recently, so you're going to maybe see more. But what you've got to remember is every Warriors game always starts off with few characters. I don't think there's ever been a Warriors game that has tons of characters to begin with. Dynasty Warriors had a limited amount when it started with 2.
But I doubt I'm gonna see Hyrule Warriors 8, where there's like 100 characters extra.
Oh no, probably not. I don't think it will.
The problem with the Zelda series is even if you look at the original game's enemy list, there ain't that many.
No.
You look at the second game, there ain't that many.
Again, potentially not having an 8 might not necessarily be a bad thing if it does what it needs to do within what it is. That's fine.
My point there was really that. You're saying that the original Dynasty Warriors games didn't have that many characters, but they had a damn sight more than the Hyrule Warriors game is going to have.
Yeah, Samurai Warriors didn't have quite that many either. And
Samurai Warriors wasn't all that popular.
Have you ever played the Sengoku Basara games? No. They're sort of similar. They don't have so many characters, but it's doable. But I think because of the style of how the game's going to play,
I think it's going to have to be a lot more of that kind of that filler.
I think that's what they're going to do.
They're
going to play off more role play elements and stuff, and add
like bombing the walls, using stuff like hooks.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. No, I think that
I just don't
it needs
think that
more
as
stuff
a
like
straight
that.
up.
No, well, it could.
Style game in
I think
Hyrule,
what we've got to remember is if we take Dynasty Warriors and like Gundam as the main examples here, Gundam again is based around gigantic battles and there's lots of generals and stuff in Gundam and that kind of thing. So
they're gonna have to pull in a little twist and make it really good.
I think the trick being that Nintendo are working on it as well. So we'll have a little bit of input from Nintendo guys and some of the Zelda team. So that will be interesting.
I'd really rather not have input from the Zelda team, to be honest.
Yeah.
Look at the shit they've banged out.
Well, recently, command form.
No.
You never know.
I'm not even impressed by the new Zelda trailer, to be honest.
No, I thought it looked cool, but I liked Hyrule Warriors a lot more than the new Zelda trailer. I saw Hyrule Warriors and was like, this is the Zelda game I've been waiting for. This looks awesome. Like, everything about it just harkens back to old school childhood fantasy and stuff. It looks amazing.
I think it's going to be neat.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to buy it when it comes out.
I'm going to buy a Wii U just to get it. I'm well up for it. Yes.
A console seller.
It's appealing to me as a gamer now, and to me as a gamer when I was a child. It's got that nostalgia factor, but because I love Dynasty Warriors, it's got the factor of playing games that I like now. So.
I know I bitched out pre-orders earlier, but that might have been one of the exceptions. Then again, thinking about it, nah. I'd have to watch Nintendo Direct to be able to.
Yeah, well, that'll be on
on
August the 4th, so we'll give that a view.
We'll talk about that next time.
With that and the upcoming Smash, because I mean, like we were saying earlier, the Smash characters haven't been revealed yet.
Do you think some of the characters in Hyrule Warriors will actually then spin over to Smash? They've been announced in
Possibly. To be honest, though, I think Smash needs to get away from lots of characters from one franchise. We need a representative from each franchise rather than having too many from one game.
You want more stuff that's heavy hitter on
Yeah.
Nintendo and other
Look,
platforms.
to go into what we were talking about before the podcast, I had this idea that one character I want to see in Smash would be Simon Belmont. And the reason why is because Smash now has Mega Man, Smash now has Pac-Man.
Does Smash still have Sonic? I can't remember.
Yeah, Sonic is still in it. And yeah, so it was like Simon is pretty much, although it's a Konami game, Castlevania, but the original is more associated with the original NES. You think Castlevania, you think top 5, top 10 classic NES games. It's one of the games for the NES.
I actually think Castlevania for me really topped out on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
But
Alright, but Castlevania at the time, I mean, if you're thinking back to when the NES was big, Castlevania was like it was one of those games you saw and you identified it as a Nintendo game. And like then I was saying, Captain N helps because it had Simon Belmont parody.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I had this funny idea that I thought if Simon Belmont was in it, then you've got Simon Belmont Man and Captain N showing up would be ace. But yeah.
What Smash Brothers game was it? I think it was in Melee or whatever that you could use if you were Fox or Falco.
Mm-hmm.
If you were on any of the Star Fox or Lilac Wars or Star Wing themed stages like Corneria, Venom, if you taunted as Fox or Falco, you'd have a special taunt where you'd actually communicate with the rest of the team.
Oh, right.
Like Slippy and
That's pretty
Peppy
neat.
I have. Oh my god.
Were you thinking?
Yeah, it would have been neat that if it had Captain in,
Oh,
you could
absolutely,
whack
yeah.
the taunt button and you'd have.
I literally.
Have a conversation with.
I'd be happy if they made Pit do like the Idicus reference.
Yeah,
thing. That
that'd
would
be
just
rad.
kill me. And if
Fucking-
Mega Man had a ridiculous voice, that would just be great. Yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
Mega Man, why are you green? Why have you got stupid goggles?
Yeah.
Why do you sound like Bart Simpson? What's going on? Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, again, like I was saying about Hyrule Warriors with the old Zelda cartoon, Captain N again is something that ties into Nintendo from my childhood.
Yep.
So yeah, it would
I
be
definitely
like
know how that ties into childhood. I actually made the belt.
yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, I was such a
And
nerd.
like we were saying earlier, he could have a wicked moveset. I mean, all his moves are based around the belt. What you can do with the belt, the
It's got,
zapper.
like, obviously the jump, the pause. Yeah, the zapper.
He's got the zapper. He had Game Boy and could do something with Game Boy, I'm sure. And
Yeah, for sure.
it would be pretty cool. And then think of the levels, man. You've got a level with King Hippo and the
They need
ridiculous
to
version
put-
of Mother Brain.
They need to put King Hippo and Eggplant Wizard
Yeah.
into a game, just as a little throwback. I think that'd be really neat.
Especially now Little Mac is in it as well. Little Mac and King Hippo, there's something there then.
I think
Yeah.
that's kind of a bridge.
Yeah.
They need to bring in King Hippo. For sure.
Yeah, but yeah, because again, Little Mac being one of those old you associate with the NES. So Belmont is really the only
I also
missing.
kind of associate YouTube with Little Mac.
All right.
Punch Out. I won't say why.
Okay.
It's a wonderful little video that actually you linked me to on YouTube. That was your fault. I ended up on YouTube, so everyone can
I
blame
linked
the
you to it, and
bike.
I'm sitting here thinking, what the hell is it?
That was Stole My Bike.
Oh god, yeah. Oh god, yeah. Yes. Ultimate controversy there. Yeah, no, that was a.
I wonder if that's still on YouTube.
Yeah, of course it is. It was a meme. It was huge. It was all over the chans and stuff, wasn't it? Yeah. Absolutely crazy. Like,
Brilliant. That was actually those.
it was
videos.
an innocent scene. Little Mac was training. Damn
It was
in his pink hoodie.
it was those videos that actually got me to join YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
God.
because once you sent me the link, I was like, YouTube, it's just gonna be a gimmick, right? So I ended up starting looking around YouTube.
I'm kind of notorious on Facebook for linking ridiculous YouTube links.
Well, you sent me the link. This was maybe 2006.
God, that was years ago. Yeah,
about 2006, and something along that kind of time. And I was like, shit, can't save or favorite or like anything or thumbs it up unless you've got an account. And so then I made an account, and that's
just
because of that.
Oh my god.
No, it wasn't just that video, because I actually started looking around YouTube.
Yeah.
And
the West, as they say, is history.
Yes.
Yeah, and now the internet is fucked.
I was going to say, can you think of any other characters other than Belmont that would make you still think of the NES aren't in Smash?
Belmont, Captain N, King Hippo, Eggplant Wizards. We've already got Samus.
So out of the big hits, Belmont is the only one that hasn't shown up.
Pretty much.
And I think Simon, at least, needs to... Because Castlevania's crap recently. It's gone awful. Those Lord of Shadow games suck. They are awful. I hate them. The last good Castlevania for me, personally, is probably Symphony of the Night. Like, the other ones that tried to copy it...
The Game Boy Advance ones I thought were pretty good.
There were a couple of good Game Boy Advance ones. Circle of the Moon was alright, the first one.
That was just Castlevania.
Okay, that one wasn't too bad.
That was with not Soma.
No, Soma Cruz came in with the later ones.
Yeah.
I didn't like them ones so much.
Where he's the reincarnation of Dracula.
He's Dracula. It was just like, oh, okay, whatever. And then it got worse from there, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse.
As soon as they introduced Soma, I think it went to hell.
Yeah, I mean, and even then, like, I like Alucard, and I like Symphony of the Night, but Simon has this proper 80s thing about him. He's a big barbarian dude with a whip that hates vampires and wants to slay them all. What more could you want, you know? Like, proper classic 80s retro character. We need him in Smash, really.
It would be really cool to
Although, because of all the religious implications, like, do you remember that there were groups getting upset because of stuff that we used in Castlevania?
Like Holy Water became the fire.
Yeah, and then it was crosses and Bibles and things, and so it caused a bit of a fuss. Which is silly, really, because it's like...
The cross became the boomerang.
He's a good guy, and he's using all this biblical stuff for good reasons. That's good, surely.
Use that kind of stuff's in the old video games.
Yeah,
like, I was actually talking to I'm going to butcher his last name, but it's Matt Ezio or Ezio, Sickness Destroyer 20XX on YouTube.
Okay.
And we were actually talking about censorship in games, and obviously the big stuff over here is Probotector. You're not allowed to shoot other humans because of there was a German censorship law back in the 80s saying, hey, you can't shoot other humans, so we turn them into robots. And I was always
Half did that as well. They had robots in it.
And I was curious why Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Turtles changed. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why did we change Ninja Turtles to Hero
Turtles? What was Ninja Gaiden called?
Shadow Warriors.
Yeah.
And I actually ended up looking it up, and it turns out that it was another German and European censorship thing going on, in that they thought that the word ninja was crazy violent. It was way over the top violent, and that's why they banned it. No, you didn't. It's just the word ninja was enough to make people violent.
So to all you listening or watching out here, look at the person next to you and think ninja, and that's who we've caused many murders.
Yeah, well, we had loads of stuff like that over here, where we banned music videos for stupid things as well. But I also then found out that nunchucks were banned in the UK in the 80s as well. So that meant that the character Michelangelo, for the first season, and only the first season, did he have nunchucks as weapons.
Alright.
I think it was by season 3, so they censored every single use of Michelangelo's nunchucks. And all of the use of weapons in the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles series. Was like they cut it out.
Man, I don't remember that. Maybe I didn't watch it so far.
Well, you wouldn't have realised it, because to us that was normal to see that the turtles didn't wail on people with their swords, their bow staffs, the nunchucks.
Because I remember them having the weapons and
they
using
had
them for certain
but they didn't often use them. Yeah. Whereas in the American series, they were fucking wailing people left, right, and centre. It turns out by series 3, Michelangelo's nunchucks were completely pulled. In the UK, he had the grappling hook.
Oh yeah, I remember him using grappling hook.
That was his main weapon by season 3. But in the games and the toys, nunchucks were normal.
Grappling hook could probably do just as much damage, if not more, than a nunchuck.
It's a tool, isn't it? That's why it gets away with it, because they see it's a tool. It's like,
exactly.
It's like Someone has a claw hammer, it's not the same as a war hammer. You know, they both do the same sort of thing.
I think they also did the same thing with even Bruce Lee movies, which, you know, Bruce Lee's kind of, you know, famous for using nunchucks really well, all censored in the UK. So, you know, it was because I was talking to Matt that I realised...
That's weird. Why nunchucks specifically? Very strange.
Nunchucks ninjas.
There's going to be some... There'll be some in some sort of legal case where it got all blown up proportion by some newspapers, they banned them. That's going to be something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, something dark.
That's why I love these daft...
That's what they did that with Megadeth's Sex Pistols song, Sex Pistols cover, Anarchy in the UK.
Right.
It's banned over here. We'll get to more banned stuff in the UK later, but they actually banned Anarchy in the UK by Megadeth because they said that it would cause fits of frenzy and that would go around rioting.
We already had a version.
Yeah, we'd go around killing each other and, you know, rioting in the streets. It's like, are you fucking dumb? And the only thing
anyway.
I brought it up with Matt, and he was like, well, the only thing I can think of is the strobe at the end of the video. And I was like, dude, I let me into a fit of frenzy.
I was thinking of his well, I was going to say epileptics, perhaps. After they have their little fit, they go up and then go kill people.
I guess. I mean, that was the only thing. We
know an epileptic, and I've never known it to actually happen.
No, for sure. I mean, well, that was the only thing Matt could think, because I couldn't think of anything. I mean, you got to think I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to, you know, random stuff.
Mistakes, yeah.
You don't think it was the title Anarchy? But put them off.
Fuck UK censorship. Anarchy in the UK. That's the softest song Megadeth ever fucking released. That song's about killing them fucking selves, and they still got released.
Killing is my business, and business is good.
Oh, stupid censorship. The UK has some really dumb censorship laws, and I can remember ripping into the Americans for all their kind of the way they'd butcher titles and change them about and stuff. It turns out we were just as bad.
Back in the day, video games had all sorts on them.
I think apparently the worst isn't. I think Australia's got one of the worst.
Dude, if it's a game, Australia doesn't get it.
Yeah. And actually, well, not just that, and South Africa have got some very strict censorship laws.
I'm not going to say anything.
No, I know exactly what you're thinking. I'm dating Mass Effect goes down 2-1 in South Africa. God.
Fuck it.
Or Pastor Martin Semper, he'd have a field day with that one, wouldn't he?
It's just, why? Just have a little bit more faith in humanity.
Yeah.
Games ain't going to cause us to kill people. We've been killing each other since way before the games, music videos.
Of course, they're a new form of media, and this new form of media always get blamed.
Rock music makes
there was articles about talkie films causing bad habits amongst youngsters when talkie films first started being a thing.
You can't read Harry Potter because it promotes witchcraft. So here, read Sun Tzu's Art of War. That's fine. You read that, it's cool.
Doesn't that promote?
I would say read Sun Tzu's Art of War because it's better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'd rather read that than read about.
It's quite a messy read, by the way. Art of War.
I've got Art of War.
I remember reading that at work once. What a mess.
Perfect.
Right, enough dribbling on.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other characters that should go into Smash.
Yeah, no. See, Belmont just came instantly came to mind. I couldn't think of any other big hits on the. I mean, unless you really want to push it and go like Ryu Hayabusa, but then he's not really widely known at the time. I would have said.
As well, we've been sent a comment.
Oh.
As regards
this
is a bit of a in-podcast flashback about the Bruce Lee film.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Enter the Dragon. Apparently there's a scene where he hurt somebody with nunchucks, and they banned it because apparently in the 70s people copied him.
See? Soft. We're all fucking soft.
There you go.
We get murdered with hammers, they don't ban the hammer.
If that's true.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure it is.
Fucking
but it might not be.
Don't doubt our commenters, man. Don't doubt them.
I'm sure it's 100% accurate.
See, I actually own a UK box set of Bruce Lee films. I might actually have to go back and watch them. I need to find a VHS player first.
Pretty damn cool. I remember years ago in the 90s when Channel 4 were doing those Kung Fu nights. They had a Kung Fu season. There was loads of Bruce Lee films on, loads of Oriental films. Fong Se-young was on, and all these wicked films. And I think at the time that was one of the ways I was really interested in a lot of films.
Kind of bugs me though, not actually realising how much we were censored and why. I mean, it kind of puts a downer on
as a kid,
what have I missed?
I remember the Ninja Turtles things. I remember seeing Ninja Turtles and stuff. Thinking, why aren't they called Ninja Turtles over here?
Well, I don't remember. See, I wasn't too bothered about it being called Hero Tales, but then when you realise, and then you're like, so what else did they change? Because at first I thought, oh, maybe it's just the title, and then it turns out they've changed tons of shit in it.
Yeah, and then there was Mortal Kombat, because I remember the big hoo-ha about that. I remember that being a big thing when I was a kid, Mortal Kombat. Oh,
I remember people bitching about it, but I don't remember it being censored.
I remember it being on the TV and stuff. They're, oh, this game's come out and it's got blood and stuff, and I remember thinking, there's been what's in this before, what's the big fuck out? But yeah, whatever.
It was on a mainstream console at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Stupid assholes. Stop censoring our shit. I'm gonna go back in time and make it not happen.
Okay.
I probably already have and failed and been killed by T-1000 or something like that. But
In Germany, because you don't know robots kill you in Germany.
yeah, in Germany, only robots can kill you.
But so on to other news. Back to Skazz here.
Oh, wait.
You've got to read the notes and find out.
Oh, yeah, here we go. The Mighty number 9 footage isn't actually mine. It's got my tag after it, but it isn't mine. It's
that was
Thorny's.
me that linked it, yeah. But I thought it was you that wanted to talk about it.
So
we've got a section that no one put in there, no one actually planned to talk about.
Oh, no, we planned to talk about it. But so, right, Thorny linked a recent, was it like gameplay trailer?
Yeah, but I will say it's
or
in the works. It's like a trailer of the game as it is, as it stands.
as it's being made. The game is nowhere near being finished, blah, blah, blah. No one really
But
gives a
what
shit about
got
my
me
number
about it,
anymore.
and I think we agreed straight away pretty much, is the first thing that I looked at and thought was, wow, these character models suck.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just because they're unfinished, because, obviously they can add more to them. The whole style was just like, what's happened here?
Right, you have to understand that Mighty number 9 is basically just Mega Man rebooted because they can't use Mega Man.
Yeah.
Mega Man's owned by Capcom.
So Inafune, which I found out recently, I'm not sure, because I've been reading all these arguments online about this, about whether he actually created Mega Man. It turns out that he is the original art designer for Mega Man. He created what they look like, conceptually, but I don't think he wrote all the backstory, and I don't think he had anything to do with the programming.
Well,
so
probably not.
He sort of owns Mega Man, or created Mega Man, because Capcom owned Mega Man. But he sort of created Mega Man, but then again, he sort of didn't.
He created Mega Man as you know it by looking at the character, not by...
So yeah, Mega Man, in a way, isn't really his as such. And I remember there being an interesting tweet from Camille when people were asking him, what do you think of Mighty Number 9? And he just responded
He's a good businessman.
He's a good businessman. Yeah, he's a businessman. Oh, no, it wasn't he's a good businessman, it's just he's a businessman. And it was like,
game designer, he's a businessman.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, so yeah, from what I've seen of it so far, like, it doesn't look like it appeals to Mega Man gamers. It doesn't look like it appeals to the old school core. It looks more like a Pixar film. Like, that kind of style of... It looks like a Western 3D animation.
It does look... The way they've done the 3D in it, it looks fucking awful.
I don't
the 3D characters on the faux 2D background, just like 2.5D.
Yeah.
And I thought we'd killed that off by now. If you're going to make a spiritual successor to Mega Man, at least make... The concept art looked amazing. Like, the 2D
I was going to say,
Mega Man
I am fine with 2.5D in certain games, because they did a remake of Mega Man X in 2.5D, and it's not as good as Mega Man X, but it's still quite a good game.
And they also did the original. They did the original Mega Man. I think it was Mega Man 1. They did.
Yeah.
Mega Man Powered
Up. Yeah.
The character art that you saw when you all put your money in on the Kickstarter was all that. Looked cool. All right, you could kind of place that somewhere between Mega Man and Battle Network.
Yeah.
With the kind of art style, and then out of nowhere they come up with these 3D models that look like shit. They run like shit. They just look shit.
They move awfully.
The animations on them are fucking awful, and I understand that this is like alpha stage or whatever. It just the design doesn't look right. Beck does not move how you want him to. All I saw in that video was Beck tackling.
Did you see the horrible tie-in to the cartoon or animated show they were going to make? Oh my god, you need to see that. It's terrible. It's like just basic crappy DreamWorks humor, and I just couldn't stop PayPal and watching it. It doesn't look good at all.
See, I wasn't impressed by anything that, when you linked
No.
to that trailer. I was not impressed by it. I was like, holy shit, I put me in this.
Yeah.
But, again, I kind of take a step back here. A lot of people say it's like Sonic 2006. They say, oh, that game's shit. My oldest son loves that game.
Right.
Because he doesn't look at it like I do. Like, I look at it and I think, oh, this is the old school game that I played when I was growing up. He looks at him as, that's the fucking character. It doesn't matter what the fucking game was. It doesn't matter what game came first. They're all their own individual thing with that character, and they're all fucking rad. My other son looked at Mighty Number 9, and he was genuinely excited by it. I thought it looked shit.
Yeah,
he
me
thought
too.
it looked really fucking fun. And I was like, well, alright, maybe my investment isn't that bad, because someone's going to get some enjoyment out of it. It's just because I'm a cynical old cunt that wants, I want Mega Man, but I'm not going to fucking have Mega Man.
No.
So, stop wanting Mega Man. It's not going to be Mega Man.
I kind of missed Mega Man Zero was my favourite Mega Man
Good
series.
series. The Game Boy follow-up from Mega Man X5 or 6.
One of the X games, yeah. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, that's my favourite series in Mega Man. I love X as well, but Mega Man Zero for me was like, wow, this game is shit hot. Really good, really challenging. I love the art style.
5, I think. I was 5.
Right, and I love the design of the robots. For me, it's where the design in Mega Man peaked. Everything looked fantastic. I love the way the worlds looked. I love the way the machines looked. Zero's look in that game brilliant compared to earlier Zero, because I found earlier Zero to look really blocky. I like earlier Zero, but
earlier Zero up until X3. X3 was good. X4 and 5 were fucking brilliant. X5 especially. X4 because they had the animated cutscenes.
X4's animated cutscenes were awful done.
Yeah, the double one was fucking horrible, but the actual cutscenes were really nice. Mega Man Zero stuff was a little bit more. I'd say like Zero was a lot more feminine, and Zero was pretty feminine.
He was very androgynous looking, wasn't he?
And then, but it played really well.
It did.
It was
different.
different.
Fantastic.
It played really well.
I liked the androgynous look. I thought it suited the character because Zero kind of had that sort of androgynous look anyway. But
was it Zero crossed with the Tech Fairy Seal, or was that the female character in the game? I can't remember. There was a fairy nano fucking thing.
Yeah, there was.
Blends with the corpse of Zero from X5 or whatever.
Yeah, like the cyber elf.
Yeah, that. Whatever. I can't remember what that character's name was that blends in with them, and then between Zero and this cyber elf.
Yeah.
No, I thought the game they were really fun. Nice
I just love them. They're wicked games. They're hard, but they're fun. Yeah, very very good games. Like I say, peak of the series for me. Everything about it just looks great.
Was it Mega Man ZX or XZ or whatever?
I didn't like that one.
The one on the DS.
That was the one that was more like a Metroidvania, and it
had a lot of anime cutscenes.
Yeah.
And angry drawings.
See, but then like also. Zero games pushed the Game Boy Advance hardware to its limits. It looks amazing for an advanced game. I remember being blown away by that intro to the second one, where he's in the desert and he's being pursued, and then he just like kicks his shit out. Yeah, really, really cool. Very, very.
Was that? I can't even remember what the song was.
Departure.
Yeah, something like that.
The first one.
And it sounded really fucking good.
On the Game Boy, and you're like, wow, this is a Game Boy producing this music, Game Boy Advance even, but. Yeah, wicked games.
Not to sound harsh to Mega Man fans, I am not a huge. Well, maybe I am a huge Mega Man fan.
You are a huge Mega Man fan. It was usually properly introduced as a series. I mean, I had played the old Mega Man games, but I remember you getting me into the X series.
I was pretty thin on the original Mega Man series.
We used to play X all the time, didn't we?
Yeah, X1 through 6.
Yeah.
And PlayStation 2 games are a bit thin, but. Honestly, guys, I don't think there's really a place for Mega Man as it was in gaming anymore.
No, I think
that's why Mighty Number 9 looks so shite.
I think we could get away with the Zero look, but then again, gameplay is really hardcore, isn't it, compared to what a lot could handle.
I think they should have done, and this is sacrilege to a lot of Mega Man fans. Do you remember do you remember Metroid Prime? Where they turned Metroid into the first-person shooter. There was a trailer for a Mega Man game that was just like Metroid Prime, first-person shooter, and that game looked fucking amazing. I was thinking to myself, you know what? Mega Man as a first-person shooter would have been really fucking
Would
cool.
have been interesting.
Or at least the way they made it in this trailer that got cancelled. Or give us Mega Man.
Legends.
Yeah, give us Mega Man Legends.
They were good games.
Just look. Let's stop with the side-scrolling Mega Man platforming games. They
In
just
fact,
don't fit anymore.
Legends were like some of the first 3D RPGs or solo RPGs about parties and stuff I really got invested in. Like especially Legends 2, very cool game.
I never finished
No?
Legends. I've got them both.
I love the
finished.
characters in it as well. It's
You had Tron,
yeah, you had Tron and the whole Bond family, and they're all really good. And it reminded me a little of sort of Skies of Arcadia and that whole exploring the world, because they were explorers, weren't they? That was the whole thing. Treasure hunters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or archaeologists or whatever. You had to dig up treasures and power.
Which
and
was
stuff
brilliant, you know, and that was very
Because
cool.
I had the N64 version of Mega Man Legends, which is
right.
an American import,
Oh, cool.
which is pretty neat. Plays black and white on my TV, it sucks. But
They were good games, though, yeah, and I enjoyed the Legends games as well.
no place for Mega Man anymore. Mighty Number 9 looks like shite. It's probably
Yeah.
gonna be like shite. It's going to like shite. And there's no place for it.
Yeah, if you hear
anymore.
Beck's voice in the new one, you'll just be like,
It's all horrible hype. We all wanted Mega Man. We're not going to get it. We're just not willing to let go.
no. Basically, I think Inafune needs to sort it out, because he knew what people were looking for and kind of screwed that up, and it's almost like, why?
It's not his fault. He just couldn't. He couldn't.
It does
give people
make
what they
you
wanted.
wonder, that, like, about his whole Capcom thing, with Capcom booting him, and everyone being like, oh, why'd you boot him, you know, and why you stop Mega Man and that, and then them screwing over Mega Man just to spite him, like they were saying. And it's like, well, you know, maybe he kind of helped cause this, you know. I don't know, I really don't, but if they were going to go back to Mega Man, I'd like to see it done properly again.
I think sometimes old series that you love and enjoy, best thing is just to let them gracefully
Let
age
them
away.
go.
Or, like, I think hopefully
Have memories.
Mega Man being in Smash, not necessarily like
The original Mega
it doesn't
Man.
need to make a new Mega Man series, but at least it'll keep the character's legacy within another game.
At least in Smash, it's the original Mega
Yeah.
Man. Unlike that random beat 'em up that had the American artwork Mega Man
Yeah.
thrown into. What was it, like Capcom vs. Street?
Yeah, and it wasn't
Or
just
whatever.
American art Mega Man, it was American art Mega Man after he'd been to living a seriously awful lifestyle.
Because
Like,
ours hadn't been. Mega Man artwork original hadn't been butchered like the American. It was still pretty bad, but it wasn't as bad as the American version.
Yeah.
And then the Japanese version, obviously, actually looking decent.
I don't think they were bad, the artworks. I think they
The
were
British
just,
ones weren't. The American ones were fucking awful.
alright, I just think they were geared towards the wrong thing, because they made him look like a big buff dude and that, and it was like, yeah, that could be cool if it was something else.
The
but as
American
Mega Man.
The American version looked like one of them dodgy old school sci-fi shows.
Oh dear.
The European one, if I remember, actually looked somewhat like Mega Man, but not anime-ish, not
Yeah.
manga or whatever. And the Japanese one looked like a page out of a manga book.
Yeah. Which is what it should be, because I mean,
or
he
manga
reminds me of Astro Boy. That's like, I guess that's where the inspiration for Mega Man came from.
But I agree with Nick on this one. They should just let Mega Man die.
Yeah,
I
no,
put
yeah.
money into Mighty Number 9.
You've got your series you love, just keep it go.
Like I was gonna say that if you're gonna do it through like Smash and stuff like that, where you've got characters that are from old games and you're appealing to that retro audience, and it is just like a hey, look, love letter to the old fans kind of thing. Yeah.
Because I mean, they've killed off so many series now, and they try to keep bringing them back, and sometimes the reboots just aren't good enough. Look at Castlevania, they've fucked it up.
Oh
Look
god.
at Mega
yeah.
Man, they're fucking
Thief.
that up as well. Thief,
Yeah.
they're fucking it up. Devil May Cry
Rainbow
didn't even need a
Six.
reboot, and reboot, and they fucked it up.
Yeah.
Just let it sail off. Give it a reboot and just let it sail and sink.
You've got the game you love, just let it
Make something
let it go
new.
down as
Yeah.
the classic game.
Yeah.
Just kill off these characters and just make something new.
I
Give us a
kinda
new
wish-
IP.
It's like movie remakes, you know, there's the original one, you're not going to beat the original one as a classic, you're not going to redo it.
No.
Just let people have the original, let them have that
Unless
memory.
it's Planet of the Apes.
Make something new. Yeah, well,
That's
apparently
not
it
really-
isn't so much a
that's
remake,
really-
is it? It's kind of
it's-
extension on the.
No, it's a
Yeah,
reboot.
it's like
They've considered it a reboot.
Oh
Yeah,
right.
it's a reboot, but it's like, yeah, I mean, like
The
we
second
didn't
reboot.
need it. We didn't need a remake of King Kong.
No, I didn't like that remake of King
No,
Kong
so
either.
We
God.
didn't need.
Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is weird because I love Peter Jackson movies,
we
but
didn't
not that
need a
movie.
remake
No.
of Iron. We didn't need a remake of I Am Legend. We didn't need it.
No.
Just let the films be what they
I
are.
kind of wish that Kojima would do that with Metal Gear, and this would probably get me lynched, but as much as I like Metal Gear, it's outliving its welcome. Do you
Yeah,
find?
for sure.
Like,
Stop making those fucking games.
also because of the fact that
And don't call it Metal
Kojima.
Gear, it's Metal Gear Solid.
Okay,
because
Metal Gear Solid.
Gear is long dead.
Well, anything within the Metal Gear franchise, because the reason being, Kojima's capable of other things, and it's just like,
sure.
let's pump out Metal Gear after Metal Gear after Metal Gear, forgetting that he made Snatcher and Police Noughts and all these other cool games. And
I
Zoe
personally
and...
think he wants to make other
He probably
games.
would, yeah. They're
But
probably just forcing
unfortunately,
him
he's such a cash cow franchise. He's stuck with it. He's done.
Yeah.
He's
I was
actually
watching-
cursed himself making too good a game.
Yeah.
Too good again. Shite.
Metal
I
Gear
was
Solid was good, the first one. Yeah, I quite like that one.
Metal Gear Solid was good.
It's
Metal
playable.
Gear Solid 3 was good.
Metal Gear
Metal
Solid 2 was
2
good up to the tanker section.
Yeah,
After that was awful.
Yeah. As soon as you got hold of Raiden, it's not very good.
But
Naked
The great
Raiden.
bit about Raiden, the only good thing about Metal Gear Solid 2 is you get yourself shot by a snake.
what was it? Oh fuck, what was it? Something to do with Kojima. Well, we're saying about how they're cash cows and no one's willing to invest in new shit anymore unless you got a Kickstarter or whatever. That's not what we just said, but that's what I'm throwing out there. I was watching the Once Upon Atari thing. It's a documentary about Atari and how it kind of rose to the top and what it was like on the inside from a developer standpoint. How it was like a constant party, people getting pissed and stoned, but you still had work to do and you weren't kind of chained up until marketing kind of got in control.
Yeah.
And said, "No, you don't make a game like that. No one will play that." And then they didn't realize
Just gonna go back to the old favourite Mr. T Pac-Man game. You know?
They didn't realize how a game was made. They just realized how they knew how to sell a product. They didn't know how to make a product. But a lot of the engineers in the old school Atari days are like, well, fucking looking at games now. It's just recycled product. There's nothing new. You're just taking the old ideas and fucking put a coat of nice fresh coat of paint on it.
Absolutely.
Stop fucking about. Make a new game, because keep on rehashing old series, giving us sequels, and that it's just not going to last. You're going to destroy the industry like this.
And again, like we were saying about role-playing games and stuff earlier, by all means stick to what you have, with your generic cookie cutter warrior, wizard class and stuff. Add new stuff. Stick a merchant in there. That'd be an interesting mechanic to have in your game. You've got a merchant that goes around and you can play as, anything, all sorts of different roles you could play, aren't there?
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of levels. I'd love to see actually. I've seen plenty of game jams that have themes. I'd like to see a game jam where they actually ban something and say, okay, I'm going to make a first-person shooter, but you can't have, you can't have proper guns in it. You've got to think of some other way to make a first-person shooter without guns.
Must be a lot of the first-person sword-fighting games, but
there you go.
There's that one on the Dreamcast, wasn't there?
Mac and X.
Yeah.
That's all right.
There you go, guys. Your challenge is to make an RPG, but you can't have levels in it.
You can make an RPG, but you can't have any westernized characters. You can't have any Japanese spiky-haired characters.
See, I think RPG without levels would be easy to do, really, but it's just that people don't think outside of that box.
Well, you've got to think of a way to make it work without levels.
Because RPG, realistically, you're going around, you're talking to characters, you're adventuring. You don't necessarily need levels.
Making an RPG without levels, then you're talking about Zelda, which then you're talking about an adventure game. You're not talking about an RPG anymore. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, because I would always have
make
counted...
Dungeons and Dragons with no levels and no stats.
I would always have counted Zelda as an RPG in its own way.
Because
you walk around, you talk to people. That's role playing, man.
Yeah, but that's not. They don't consider it a role playing game. That's the same Dungeons and Dragons without stats.
Doable.
There are people who
because Dungeons and Dragons.
There are pen and paper RPGs.
Yeah, because when we used to play Dungeons and Dragons, a lot
I'm saying
of
specifically
was...
Dungeons and Dragons. Remake Dungeons and Dragons. Ditch all the stats. Ditch all these dice rolls. Now do something with it.
You can keep the dice rolls, just not your stats.
I've seen countless people who've played Dungeons and Dragons games which have just all been about political intrigue and talking, which don't need levels. You don't need that.
Because we used to challenge ourselves with this, like as everyone knows, my nickname being Bard. Whenever we used to play role like D&D games, I'd play as a Bard. And my thing that I always used to like to challenge myself to do was figuring out and dealing with problems without having to deal with your usual. Right, I'm going to hit it, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So no, my character's not based around that. He's based more around talking. And a lot of the time, RDM would reward my character based on clever things I said and did, and it wouldn't all be based on roles.
That's all down to the DM.
Yeah.
You'd still have to make some.
But it's doable, and
the trouble is the
game isn't based on that. That's
game,
just how you've modified it.
Actually, the game isn't based on anything. Original Redbox D&D, they pretty much said,
"Go the hell you like."
Yeah, do what the hell you like. The game is just a framework. You can take it and do what you like with it. That was the idea.
People have got used to the idea of a role-playing game. It's a role-play. They've had these add-on to it, which are added on afterwards. They've now become the main thing.
Yeah.
So the mechanics of the levels, the mechanics of skills, they've been things that sort of plastered on top of it. Now, I've got a copy of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, which actually didn't have any skills in it.
Yeah.
You actually could do or couldn't do something. And there was no skills per se. You didn't have any skill checks, nothing. You just did or didn't.
Cool. I'm going to let you guys carry on about Dungeons & Dragons.
But yeah, no, it's doable, isn't it? I think that's manageable. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's possible to do. I don't know what I'm going to do about it.
Make a fighting game with punching people.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant! Try it!
But also sort of games you can make about other mechanics.
What should we do while he's not here?
I don't know. Listeners, give us ideas. What can we do when he's not here? I feel mischievous. I can unplug his mic. That'd be too cruel.
Do it. Do it.
No, you do it.
No, you came up with it. You do it.
No, you do. I'm not
We'll flip for it.
I'm not getting in trouble. I can't even. He's drunk all his beers. I can't even drain that off.
It shows how inventive we are.
Yeah.
We're talking about let's innovate things. He leaves the room and we're like, well, what do we do now? We can't innovate this situation.
Well, this is so being cut. We realise. Shall we move on to the next thing?
Can we move on without him? Seriously?
I want to say what's the next thing. Can you talk about the next thing?
What is the next thing? Oh, I don't think the next thing is actually meant to be included. The whole Three Kingdoms thing.
What's it doing in the bloody show notes then?
I think
they're the notes of the show.
I
the
think
things we're meant to do.
Throw it in. He might want to talk about it. I don't know.
This is turned to bloody shambles.
When is it not?
Fair point.
That's why people tune in, man. They like to see us fun.
Let's have the show notes. Let's put stuff in it we're not going to include. I could put loads of things in it I'm not going to include.
Oh dear. How do we make a podcast about podcasting?
I don't know. Yeah.
Innovate.
How many the podcast on the internet? We just go sit on the corner of a megaphone. We're drinking beer.
Yeah.
Wing Brewery beer.
It's really good.
It's actually quite nice, yeah.
Yeah, quite enjoy
I'm drinking Bondoggle.
It was a gift from Nick for my birthday, so thank you, Nick. But we decided to share and have it for the podcast.
You've got 49er, and he's got Old Thumper.
And you've
Bondoggle.
Oh.
That's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, this one's pretty good. Yeah.
4.4% out from a local store near you.
Maybe.
Well, Morrison's had it, so.
D&D without the stats.
D&D without the stats.
Right, let's roll. We should roll and see what next.
Yeah.
Where's the D20? Is that D20 there? Is that D20 or is it just shaped like D20? It's close enough. Oh, no. It's got no numbers on it, but we can do this.
Yellow or white? You see, look, whichever way it comes up, yellow or white.
That was green to me. Which
I'm
one? Which one?
Colourblind.
Oh, you. Ah, okay.
Okay, so if it's green, what do we do?
I don't know.
Dance?
Can we dance on the podcast?
We can. It's video.
We can't dance on the podcast.
They can edit that bit out.
The viewers don't want to see dance.
What?
I'm going to refer to the notes. What should we do?
This is so being edited out.
Jump to good old Flashback.
Shall we do Flashback while he's gone?
No, because then he'll get mad because we've done Flashback while he's gone.
Well, it's his fault for banning the podcast.
No, I think we should carry on talking about our whole innovating thing. Because I think we're onto something there. Yeah, no, I think that a lot of games do fall into the trap of let's do the same thing over and over and over again. And you get into this ridiculous cookie cutter thing, and it's just, it's been done a million times before. Again, going back to what we were saying about Hyrule Warriors, one of the reasons I thought it looked good, Luke kind of wanted a bit more of the same. And I was like, no, I kind of like the fact that they're going a different direction. You know, if they stick some Zelda-style puzzles in there, you've innovated. That's good enough for me.
I mean, if it's just fair to I mean, I was thinking, actually, I just come to my head, actually. I've been being stupid. I've been talking about playing Deus Ex recently, I mentioned in the last podcast.
Yeah.
That is an RPG about levels. It's got skills and nothing else.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's a good point. I did
Thank goodness you're back.
We were debating what mischief we could get up to, and then decided.
And then we're going to roll D20, but we couldn't find one, so we're going to roll the cat's play ball.
And then we couldn't figure out what to do, so it's like, I just got thinking, actually, when we were talking about innovating, and we jumped to it from Mega Man. Well, when you think about it, Mega Man was initially created, he wasn't meant to be a war machine, was he? His original intention was to be a servant.
I have some bad news.
What's the bad news?
We've hurt the is that we dance.
They insist that we dance.
They insist that we dance.
Well then, fuck off.
I'm doing the robot.
Where did dance come from? I'm curious. I've been gone for the past 2 hours.
You abandoned us.
Now we
had
feel
nothing to do. We went out things to do. You wait till you hear the edit.
We're definitely Warcraft characters now. / dance.
Oh dear.
You left us about us. We went out of things to do, and we just sort of trying to fill the dead air. And we
Right, I'll fix the edit.
Yeah, I feel sorry for our viewers. Is all I can say. I really feel sorry for them because they didn't watch 5 minutes of absolute rubbish.
I've just innovated there, Mega Man. But if it happens, well, you could be done robot.
Dancing Mega Man.
Let's take away Dr. Wily. His whole shtick never happened. Doctor got his little dream. I've made a little utopian universe of robots that do cool shit and help people live everyday things. You've got little worker robots you can play. It'd be awesome. You can play robots.
Play as a robotic arm in a factory.
Can I say that right? A lot of people are going to hate me for this one. But one of my favourite Mega Man series, excluding X. X is the best platformer.
Yeah.
But one of the best Mega Man series is actually Battle Network.
Yeah, that's a good game. Yeah,
I thought that was fucking brilliant, and they had so much room to go with that, and they didn't. Although they had about 1 million games, so.
Yeah, then they did that one where it's in space and spaceships and stuff.
I don't know. They did.
Mega Man something or other.
Was that not ZX on the?
No. There's ones on the Game Boy. There's ones. No, I think on the DS, but it's not ZX. There's ones with spaceships and stuff. I don't know. Look weird, but.
Not a clue. That's really funny. So I went Pukey Man style on it and had like 2 different versions for.
Wasn't it that wasn't the thing in that Dr. Wily and Dr. Light actually created the internet? Wasn't that like the whole thing? It's like,
rather than having robots, you had personal electronic terminals or whatever, and you would have your own AI, and you could be like average Joe that buys your AI that comes in your pet. Which would be like your personal electronic assistant.
I just remember Fat Kid with a Mohawk had guts, man. That's all I really remember about Battle Network.
You either had, just like a generic worker bot geezer, or if you were hardcore and you could program or knew someone that could, then you'd have like Guts Man, Mega Man, Elect Man, and stuff like that. They were playable AI.
Airman.
Yeah, just pros that even in the fantasy world of Mega Man, their sturgeon law still applies. Right.
Indeed.
Moving on.
Yeah, because
apparently there's a debate about whether the fact that this is in the show that apparently we're not talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we talking about this or not? This Three Kingdoms thing, or did you just put it into like?
Well, I actually want to throw out there for anyone that was watching the podcast, because we have been talking about Three Kingdoms, and I did mention how I've never been able to find an ebook or audiobook version of Three Kingdoms. So I did a bit of digging the other week after one of the last podcasts, because we'd had a massive chat about the Three Kingdoms series that came out in 2010, but I had no idea it came out.
I'm still watching and loving the hell out of it. It's awesome.
I have them all, I just haven't watched them yet. I also didn't know that Trigun had an animated film, the Match the Stampede anime. Manga, so they had Trigun Maximum, and then Trigun the animated series. They actually made a film in 2010.
All right.
That took place somewhere in the middle of
the
series.
It yet?
No, but I'm desperate to watch. I didn't realize it happened.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, that's cute.
I keep on complaining that there is no Romance of the Three Kingdoms or Three Kingdoms audiobook. It's not quite an audiobook. There are a group of people that were they were doing a translated version, or they were using the Moss Roberts translation of the
Right.
Three Kingdoms book. They were reading the book as a podcast. They started at like chapter 35, which is just before the Battle of Chibi.
Right. Yeah, the big event.
The introduction of Zhuge Liang.
Yeah, which like Redcliffe is centered around.
Yeah.
All the big things
The
centered
big
around.
bit of Romance of the Three Kingdoms is pretty much that battle, really.
A few
that's
dudes
the
on the
most
boat
known.
and a bit of fire and a bit of wind. Yeah,
You know,
that
fucking
sums it
job
up.
done.
The Chinese war history in total.
That's
Boat,
the
fire,
one
wind.
bit.
Yep, sword.
You got that nailed. Pick the peasants, sorted. They were supposed to release it as a podcast. They only released one chapter. Although it's not narrated in the best way, I just don't think the voices of the people reading the book are particularly fit. But they did a good job, and a lot of people have criticised them for it. They released one podcast, which is about 2 minutes.
What is weird, the more I watch the Three Kingdoms series, I mean, obviously haven't read bits of the book and stuff before, as much I went on for a whole podcast about how much I love Dynasty Warriors, it makes me want more a game that is more based on the history, because Dynasty Warriors is great, but as much as I love the over-the-topness, I kind of like the more actual, more closer to the history.
So you're talking about the Romance of the Three Kingdoms strategy games.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
And
Yeah,
there's shit tons.
yeah, I wouldn't mind. I did have one on the PlayStation years
I have tons
ago.
of them on the
but
PC. They are on the PC if anyone wants to play them. Romance
yeah.
of the Three Kingdoms.
Can I get hold of one of those?
If I can find them,
Nice one, dude.
I will to you.
Mm.
But yeah,
I shall borrow it.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms had a podcasty, very limited run of podcasts in an audiobook. It's worth listening to if you've never read Three Kingdoms. It'll give you a little taster of what the book is like.
Yeah.
At least the Moss Robert translation. So I've linked it in the show notes. I'll hopefully link. Nick will put it in the description.
I do like to affectionately refer to the 2010 series of the South Comedy Show, because that's pretty much what it is.
Pretty much, from what I've seen. So I still haven't found an actual audiobook, and I still haven't found an ebook of it, but as soon as I do, I will link it so that people can actually check it out. If not, please, if you want to read the damn book, check out the Moss Roberts translation, but do not, for the love of Christ, pick up the abridged version, because you'll mix none of the story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's that. That's cool.
Okay.
Excellent. Do love a bit of the old Three Kingdoms.
Excellent. So moving on to Flashback. Mine's a bit of an old Flashback. The only reason I put it in there is because I listened to the podcast when it got sent through to me, and actually is 14, yeah, and I thought, oh, I forgot to put that in Flashback previous, so it's a bit of an old Flashback. I mentioned about this copy protection that involved you putting something on your screen.
Oh, the little prison deal.
Yes, and it was called Lenslok. As used on 8-bit, Atari, Spectrum, computers, and Amstrad CPC.
So I did look that up. I couldn't find anything. So.
It took me a while to track it down, actually, myself. I had to sort of do a bit of Google. I eventually found it. And the most famous games used it was Elite on the ZX Spectrum. They used to use it.
Elite.
Yeah, and the idea was basically you had this little glass thing on a little stand. You put it on your screen, and you'd have a picture on the screen. Basically, the picture the number of picture of white spots.
Mm-hmm.
When you look through the prism, it would rearrange them into letters, and that's the letters you used to use to basically unlock the next parts of the game. It's an early form of DRM. You know, like we had the ones where you had to look in the book to get
like
words.
Settlers. If you wanted to actually start the game, you'd put the disc in, you'd start the system, and say, well, what's the code?
Remember,
what is the symbol that appears on page?
June Battle for Iraq has had it as well, yeah.
That's basically how the it worked. Bit annoying was the fact that it was specific to every game, so you couldn't just have one that worked for everything. You had to have each game came with it. But it's an odd little device. I'll put a link to the show so you can actually see photos of it actually in use, because it's hard to describe. You need to see the photos. I'll put a link in the show notes. But yes, an early form of DRM, and it just shows that DRM in some ways is better, but it's still annoying.
Yeah.
DRM is still completely fucking useless. Stop it, please.
But I mean, thus far, I think it's elite. I think it's a debate whether having to hold a little thing on your screen and get just right so you can see some random letters vaguely. Yeah.
I still honestly say that DRM is completely useless.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, DRM is.
Who was it that argued this with me the other day? But they said to me how they didn't argue it with me, but we were having a discussion about DRM, and they said how it was funny how when Watch Dogs came out, a shit ton of people had bought the game. They paid for early, they'd paid early for it, they pre-ordered it and stuff. they couldn't play the game because you needed Uplay to play it. I guess they were talking specifically about PC gamers.
So, yeah.
And then they were like, pirates didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
The pirates got the game the same day
Yeah.
as the actual release. They probably didn't even know that Uplay was a requirement.
Yeah.
Get rid of the fucking stupid DRM because it wasn't actually.
In a way, it makes people want pirate stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
I don't want to download that part of the game, you know?
We had to jump through hoops to get a game to work.
I always think that when I watch them DVDs and they've got them forced. You wouldn't steal a car, things at the beginning. I'm like, yeah, but I wouldn't stick shitty piracy adverts on the DVD. It can't fucking skip.
Yeah,
so I'll pirate it, so it's
but-
not got that on it.
Yeah, that's what I always used to think. I'm sure the pirate versions have got this advert
Yeah.
on it. I'm sure it hasn't.
I'm not forced to sit here and watch this
Yeah.
shit. I'm not forced to listen to it. I'm not forced to have to do this bit.
And to be fair, if I could download a car, I bloody well would. So screw you, piracy people.
Screw you, anti-piracy.
And yeah,
people.
piracy people.
I just think it's stupid. DRM is really, really fucking dumb. I know people that have bought legit software and then cracked
Can't get
it.
into your software, yeah. It's
I mean, one of the first times I heard, I can't remember what game it was, but it was like a turn-based strategy mech game or something like that was advertised on Penny Arcade at one point. Tycho mentioned it or whatever. And he was like, yeah, mate, I bought this game. Fucking can't play it because the DRM locks you out. And yet we'd legitimately bought the game. The second I had a blip with my internet connection, I was locked out of the game.
Original Far Cry, I think it was original Far Cry, if it detected CD writing software on your PC or
Wouldn't let you
copy
play
software,
it.
it wouldn't let you play it.
Yeah, I remember.
And I got experiences, it suddenly popped up, you have a CD copying program on your
But
computer.
you can't have alcohol 100%.
Exactly.
You couldn't have Damon tools.
I said for myself, well, hang on. I purchased that software legally. I purchased the copying software legally. It's my software. I use it to back up discs.
You know, to burn discs.
In the old
or
days,
whatever.
it's my. I want it on there. It's not you to tell me dictate what software I have on my
that would make
PC.
me never want to play your game. You put shit like that in your game, I'm going to go, well, fuck you, I'm never buying one of your games again. Simple
Do you
as
know
that.
what I did when that happened on my machine? Rather than uninstalling the software that I wanted to keep, I just cracked the game.
Yeah, so did
I was going to say, to be fair, I wouldn't even pirate their fucking games if I like that.
I used
But
to,
nope.
went to gamescracks.com and downloaded the cracked exe, which bypassed it.
Mm-hmm. There was a Games Copy World, and that had loads of cracks and stuff on it, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You could use. It was actually kind of funny. I can remember once there was this massive rant about Steam was using one of Game Copy World's cracks, basically put it on the server rather than actually working on their own. And rather than getting an exe from the actual company that made the game, they actually just pulled it off Game Copy World.
Nice.
Someone signed on the line, and Steam just put the guys of Steam, Valve, just put it on their servers and said, "There you go."
Valve, I like your style.
Yeah,
Well,
too
fucking
right.
at the end of the day, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah. Steam is the only DRM
Yeah, it's the only
I'm
one I
happy
use
with.
as well.
It's the only DRM I'm happy with because it's not intrusive.
I'm not particularly happy with it, to be honest. I mean, give me something like GOG.
Yeah,
Give me the
GOG is
choice.
good as well.
Don't force me to have DRM
No.
and all that kind of stuff. It's just fucking stupid. There's no need for it in this day and age. If I have to connect to the internet to verify a purchase that I have, even if it is on my PC, my internet connection's shit at the best of times. If I can't connect to the internet and I can't play that game, it's gone.
Yeah.
I will not buy any more.
To be
of the
fair, I don't think you can put Steam to offline mode and let you play the games anyway.
games. That only works for so long.
Usually long enough. I've not had any issues with it.
Yeah, you haven't, but then you still have a relatively stable internet connection. I mean, think of it. If let's say, for example, you have a laptop, you've got your gaming laptop, you've got your games, and you've gone somewhere you can't play. Look at all the dudes in the armed forces when the Xbox One got announced, and they're like, shit, well, we can't play our Xbox Ones because we're not going to have an internet connection
Yeah.
to ding out. It's the same with Steam. If I can't connect to the internet, I can't play my fucking games.
No, that's true.
So I am completely against it. It's not a case of, hey yo, I'll just pirate it. If you're gonna do it, I won't buy your games.
Yeah.
Simple. If the game only cost me £3 and you lock me out from playing it, then alright, it's gonna put my.
I don't buy games from Ubisoft. I don't buy games from EA. I don't buy games from companies just purely because they screw the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I won't do it. Like, I won't buy your product if you're going to treat us like shit. That's not how it should be.
Yep.
Right. Moving on. It's yours.
Oh yeah. So was it last episode 16? You didn't listen to it, did you? Or you haven't?
Yes, I think it was.
Last episode we were talking about banned games in the UK, which kind of goes in with our whole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ninja Gaiden, stuff like that thing. We were talking about how Postal might have been a banned game in the UK.
I think actually discussion with that Postal was the sort of game that everybody envisions as being the worst game out there.
Yeah, in the UK, no one blinked at it.
And then we ended up
That's all.
talking about Harvester, didn't we? How that was.
I think there are only 3 games that have been banned in the UK.
Yeah.
Manhunt 2 was banned.
Yeah, Manhunt 2 and I can't remember.
That was banned.
That
That was actually unique.
Shite.
That was actually unique because that was banned before it even came out.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think the other 2 were banned post coming out.
Mm-hmm. But Postal was not one of them. Theft was not one of them. Each of the games that we mentioned had been banned in some part of the world.
Well, yeah,
just none of them had been
here.
banned in the UK.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure if you put nunchucks in them, they'd have been banned.
Did they ever actually? I'm trying to remember now. Manhunt 1 was it ever actually temporarily banned?
I think it might have been kind of pulled for a little.
But I mean,
while.
actually,
I know there was a lot.
Was it pulled from the retailers pulled it, or was it
I think
actually banned?
some retailers went a bit
Yeah.
hissy about it.
Exactly. Well, I mean, but wasn't
Because
actually
parents couldn't
banned
handle
by the
little,
BBFC.
little Timmy was playing a game where you could wrap a plastic bag.
Don't
around
give it
someone's
to
head.
him then.
Well, that's what I
Don't
always say.
give it.
Yeah.
Don't give little Timmy a game that has an 18 rated sticker on the front.
I didn't know what's in it.
Well, don't be stupid.
That's like
Do you
me
watch
giving a porno
DVDs?
to my
Do you watch
5-year-old.
DVDs? If you watch DVDs, you know what the 18 rated sticker means. It's the same bloody sticker. Don't give a child a game you don't think it can handle, you stupid idiots.
Don't expect parents to take responsibility for their children. Seriously, have you seen the amount of retarded parents out there?
It's like, it's not my kid's fault, it's everybody else's fault. No, you'd be
Yeah,
a bloody
exactly.
bad parent.
The amount of times I've thought to myself, you know what, if my kid's violent or fucking, stab someone or whatever, that's fucking my fault.
Do you know why you're a shit parent? Because
The
your kid
game's
plays
fault.
crap
Look.
video games, that's why. If
Yeah.
you give your kid good video games, you wouldn't be a shit parent.
I just think to myself, Jesus fucking Christ, raise your child. Seriously, if my kid
If your
comes-
kid's playing
Just 'cause
Manhunt, they're
it's a
playing
game,
it's
Just
not
because
that
the
great.
game doesn't, I know not all games are Sonic. Just because it's a game doesn't mean it's good, safe for kids to play. In the same way that just because the only television you've got is Teletubbies does not mean Saw is suitable for children.
Really?
No, it's not.
Damn. Sorry, son.
Is that what your
I'm
kids
just
like?
imagining a person who's only experienced with TV is Teletubbies.
I'm actually kind of thinking though, when I was
Time
a
for
kid, I
Tubby
watched all
Tustin.
the crazy shit.
Oh yeah, I used
Oh,
to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
that. I used to go in stores and buy 18 rated, get 18 rated films and stuff when I was like 14 because I looked older. They never ID'd me ever.
You know what? The only times I ever got ID'd was when I actually hit one of the big ages, like 18 and 21.
Yeah,
Bastards.
the only time I used to get ID'd was if I ever tried to buy alcohol. And I tried to buy alcohol when I was 16. They ID'd me.
But this way, we'd been drinking from
I still get
high
ID
school.
because apparently I've done it at 27. It's like, why am I getting ID?
I've been ID'd.
But I think 27 is the
ID'd.
age, isn't it? You've got to look if you're...
Yeah.
See, it depends on your stores. Some stores are 21, some stores are 25.
Oh, it's 25 then.
Uh,
Yeah, apparently I was on
Some
at 25, so...
a lot of supermarkets that sell alcohol, I think 25. A lot of other stores sell other age-rated products such as like knives.
It's kind of
stuff, I think
complimentary
21.
in a way.
Yeah, it's basically we think you're
I've been buying alcohol since I was in my early teens.
There you
with
go,
no
see.
ID. Then as soon as I hit 18, seriously, on my 18th birthday, I got ID'd.
Hmm.
Same on my 21st. And the only thing that had really changed between the last time I'd been there and the time after, I'd shaved. That was it. I looked 12 when I shaved. So don't shave. Even if you're a woman, grow a beard. You won't get ID'd.
Everyone might have problems with this. So I can't grow a beard. If I grow a beard, it doesn't grow on my face. It just grows on my neck, so I look like a leprechaun.
I don't look 12, but if I do shave, I do look like a cynical-looking princess. So yeah, it's like,
Oh, that's brilliant.
Perfect.
That is
but not so
absolutely
cynical as Princess Anne. I don't look that bad.
Good.
Oh no, I'm not on the rules again. Whoops.
Good.
Dun, dun,
Right.
dun. Yeah, I couldn't think of the other two games that were possibly banned in the UK, but I'm pretty sure they were pussified anyway. I've seen worse things in children's cartoons.
Fair enough.
And then we have actually got one more flashback, which was from
Last episode.
from the last episode, the Planet of the Apes radio play. I said that I'd heard before that it was a radio play before it was a book, but I couldn't remember entirely what it was. I
do think
I
it
do
was.
believe I've actually got it confused with another book radio play film combo, but for the life of me, I cannot remember what the fuck it is or where I heard it.
I guess when you said about, I thought maybe it was the Infamous War of the Worlds one.
But off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Which is the one where infamously, they made a War of the Worlds radio play.
Everyone thought we were being invaded.
Yeah, he did it. He actually reported they didn't advertise. They didn't really advertise it was a radio play of War of the Worlds. The guy literally just sort of said, "Oh yeah, just this ain't quite what he said. Just so you guys know, they were saying at the end of a parapet, some aliens just landed. Oh my god, they're killing everybody." And people missed the fact that was actually made up,
and they'd freaked out.
And I am suspicious about this because I've only heard. I've never actually heard of it. I've never seen any actual footage or people actually being freaked out. I've only heard anecdotal evidence of it. So I'm not convinced actually how big this panic actually was. Was it?
Draw a pistol and shoot this way to go. Well, fuck that.
Well, I want to know. Was it like this? You know how everything gets sensationalized now by the media. One person like does something new to the latest craze, that sort of thing. I do wonder if perhaps it was a bit over hyped, but
I think, what the hell was that other thing that people ran about? Like the whole ET burial of ET.
Oh right,
yeah. And it's like, it was reported back then. When did that? How did that become a thing?
It just wasn't national news. It was just a company getting rid of old stock.
Yeah, it's like, when did that become? Why did the internet make that thing?
Didn't Nintendo know make his film based around that, and then they took it up before his film comes out? It's like
they actually. You know what's really funny? They actually, well, it's not funny, but they premiered his film, the full film, in the same theater and on the same day, I believe, as the Atari Landfill did documentary. It was the same day, same theater. On like the next day, so he had his premiere, and then the Atari Dig documentary happened the day after.
Nice.
So that was kind of. I thought
he just got in just ahead.
Yeah, he'd actually managed to get his film.
Nice one,
but that's the thing. James already knew all the stuff because apparently there was once upon a time a website that actually very documented this stuff really, really well. But obviously, back then you'd pay for a website.
But then the dudes who made it decided to dump all his servers in Nevada desert and just no, I don't want about that anymore.
It's like you can imagine if a company now decides just to dump all its stuff in a landfill site, it might get a bit of comments, but then 20 years down the line, people make it like this really big mystery. No, it's like they came rid of rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
The game was rubbish.
They find Steven Spielberg's corpse in there.
It was even buried in a proper bloody landfill. Yep. It's not like they went out to the random middle of nowhere and buried it. They actually had something they didn't want anymore. They got rid of it.
It wasn't that they didn't want it anymore. They just couldn't keep it.
They didn't need it anymore. They didn't want to keep it, did they? So they didn't want it anymore.
Unless they've gone bust. Yeah. But
poor Atari.
Yeah, poor Atari.
I still really liked Atari for a while, but
I still think the Atari 2600 is a brilliant little console for the time.
Poor Atari. I do feel sorry for him.
I actually played the Atari 2600 quite late on. At least I got my own Atari 2600 quite late. I was probably in middle school or high school, and I thought it was fucking brilliant. Actually brilliant.
Right. Weird news.
Oh, it's our favourite set.
According to my show notes, there ain't any.
That's because you're not sure. That's because I don't let you see the weird news in advance.
Because you're mean.
Yes.
How many wanking stories have we got this month? Or this week?
There's no. I can't remember.
Right, you're starting to sugarcoat this.
I can't remember any masturbation stories on this one.
Oh, they're all masturbation stories. Hey.
No, there is a cock-related story in here. But
is that a rating now?
Yeah.
Have we got that for the podcast?
Its time shall come.
Oh dear.
Oh
dear.
The thing is, I didn't realise that Joe twice said it. But oh well.
Sweden. I'm pretty sure that's actually written in bold on the show notes.
Yeah, I've got it. Its time shall come. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I'm 12 again. Yeah.
Well, I am for a shave.
All right, so.
You need to get ID for that joke.
People who use mobile phones while driving are idiots.
Yeah.
They are. You sit there with your phone. So, scientists in Finland thought this might be a problem, and they decided to solve it in the way everybody solves problems like this on a mobile phone. They make an app. So, scientists in Finland have got this app. It's called VisGuard. It's developed at the University of Jyväskylä.
Right, so some students, man.
Well,
Would it
I
be
don't know.
your vascular?
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce that. Don't read ahead.
Pretend I'm not reading it.
Vascular. Someone who
Yes,
speaks.
I don't know.
someone who speaks
I
French
can't
next
see
to me.
past the end of Linford anyway, because I'm blind about
Was it
Yeah.
Finland, did you say?
Yes.
I've been taught swear words in Finnish, and that's it, really. That's great, isn't
Fair
it?
enough. So
Random
yeah,
fact of
you
the
have this.
day.
You have this app on your phone, and what it does is it uses several things. If you set the phone too long, it flashes a warning triangle at you. I don't know, just I don't know. It uses speed sensors. I always look out for potential threat, like a zebra crossing coming up. It'll flash a warning. And all I think to myself is, well, wouldn't the easiest thing to do just not let people use the phone?
Yeah, as soon as the phone.
I mean, what your solution to this? I mean, the sort of person who's going to use their phone while driving is
Shouldn't be able
not
to drive.
is not going to install an app to stop them using their phone while driving.
True.
And they say
I think that's mainly for parents to install on their kids' phones.
and you think the kids are going to run it?
No, I think it would have to be forced in the background. It's the same as some of them sat navs. Your sat nav would work, and you could actually touch the screen when you were parked. But as soon as the satellites detected you were moving, locked.
That's pretty good.
It was actually a bit of an interesting debate over hands-free, because you're not meant to touch your phone, but for most phones, of a lot of hand-free kits, you have to hit an answer button on the phone, which is technically illegal,
All right.
because you're not allowed to interfere at all with your phone when you're moving, when you're
So what
driving.
about the in-car kits? I'm curious. Can you still?
Well,
fuck
the
around
in-car kits have, like I had one that had was voice activated, so you could tell it to answer the phone.
Oh,
Have controls on the steering wheel. You put on the steering wheel. Parrot has none of them have controls on the steering wheel. But if you have to touch the phone, technically, that's
You're
breaking the
breaking the
law
law.
because you're not meant to touch the phone when you're
I
doing
just had
it.
the most ridiculous thought. I was thinking back and thinking, well, what happened in the times when people didn't have phones and they used to ride around in cars and weren't using their phones? And I had this visual image of two cowboys riding side by side on horseback with bloody cups and wire and
Yeah.
get off your phone! Stop it!
It makes me think about people that kind of, there have been people that have been busted for reading and driving, talking and driving, texting and driving, being on the phone.
There's
and
your
driving.
weird news story, wanking and driving.
That probably has actually
But,
been a thing.
yeah.
Didn't they say there was something like there were women that had cigarette lighter powered fucking, we'll just call them pleasure devices for the lols.
Do you mean a vibrator?
Yeah, basically. Like they had like seat cushions and actual shit they could actually manually insert. So not only was it something that vibrated that you could just sit as your actual entire seat thing, like a seat cushion or whatever, you'd actually have to use it whilst driving. I was like, who the fuck thought this was a good
Makes me think of
idea?
a thing from South Park with Mr. Garrett riding around in the gyrocopter. Have you never seen that one?
No.
Oh dear. Well, anyone who's seen that South Park episode will get that joke. No one else will.
I'm just curious, where did common sense go? When did making money become more
I don't
important
think
than having a
I don't
mind?
think common sense ever existed. I
No,
think
it's a myth.
It's a myth. Oh crap!
common sense isn't very common.
Faith in humanity gone.
Yep.
Again.
Did it ever exist? But that was a myth too for humanity. God, we should be mythbusters, fellas. Look, cracking for them all at the moment.
Going to Japan, there are many things you can do in Japan if you're on holiday there.
Like, get one of them car seats.
Yes, yes, indeed, yes.
It's probably usually a made in Taiwan thing.
But how about a bus tour around Tokyo which features ninja sword-wielding samurais?
Oh, they got nunchucks.
Possibly. An hour
I don't want
long.
to go if there's no nunchucks.
can
Being
now-
English,
you
I'm
can
not
go.
exposed to
Yeah,
these
why
kind of
not?
things. That's not new to me, but nunchucks, wow.
You might go violent. The hour-long samurai and ninja safari tour, which implies it goes like all the wilds where you see him roaming free.
I've never seen a wild samurai before.
And here we must be quiet not to spook him.
Could you imagine that he walks out of his office in his samurai suit? Everyone, all the other lot come out in business suits and all
The
that.
worst
and
was
this
the
is
ones
what
who've been
he's-
tagged like for research.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure, just can't let him go
And this
extinct.
poor samurai, this giant metal transceiver on his back, he can't barely move. He's all,
Got an ear tag.
yeah.
Poor bastard.
So the tour begins. You get a guided visit to key sites in Japanese capital.
Tokyo.
Yes. You then move to the historic Asakusa Entertainment District, where street performers dressed as samurais and black-clad ninjas leap out of the shadows as the bus cruises by.
The only thing that could make that better is Vanilla Ice's Ninja Rap playing. That'd be amazing.
It will even feature 5 historical characters. As a samurai and ninja battle as a Kazura, passengers can enjoy it from inside the bus. It is theatre in motion, said one of the organisers. It's reminiscent of a New York one called The Ride.
Oh, I've got I don't know why, but another I don't know why, but I just had visions when they said, yeah, they're going to play out as historical figures. For some reason, I just imagined a load of ninja guys in ninja and samurai suits just laying down as if they're dead on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, we're going to play this character, but that guy died like hundreds of years ago. Yes. So we're going to lay roadside.
Yeah. It's £40 if you want to go on. Oh, fair enough.
That sounds worth 40 quid to me.
Yeah, for the lols, but
Yeah.
then once you get to the end and you realise, shit, it's going to cost me a small fortune to have anything to eat, or, you know, scratch my ass in Tokyo, then how am I going to go?
Cheap.
How am I going to go to my dirty underwear vending machine if I've spent all my money on fucking random what's it called, Majid? My fucking
Sad
tour.
to say that actually a myth.
No, they are not.
They are sad
No,
to
they're
say.
not.
Maybe in a sex shop you'd find them, but not on street corners.
Dude, you can go to a vending machine and
Yeah.
get underwear out of them.
That's
You can in the UK, Nick.
I'd like to. I don't know what
There
part
have
of the
been
UK
some
you're
lost
going
off
to.
seafront.
I'm not sure. about
But
that.
can you get nunchucks out of them?
Shamefully not, I have
No.
tried.
Censorship.
onto
Political correctness gone mad, mate.
onto
That's what it is.
the cock news has come up at the moment.
The cock news has come up. He's doing really good with this. Nick, have a cookie.
It's gonna be a hard
That's
one to
one
get-
hell of a
this
hard
might-
news story.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be a hard one to get through. An Alabama man has filed a lawsuit
Alabama male.
in which he claims he went for circumcision and woke up with his penis removed. Johnny Lee Banks Jr. He went in for a routine circumcision operation at Princeton Baptist Medical Center, and it was mistakenly amputated by surgeons. Mistakenly. Is this guy for the circumcision or the cock off? I can't remember. I'll just take the cock off. It's easier.
Did he come in for the tonsillectomy or to have his bollocks removed?
I can't remember. We'll do both.
Ah, fuck it, just whip them off.
Yeah. The lawsuits, which Banks filed with his wife Zelda, says the man was never provided with an explanation as to why his penis was removed.
He was never provided with an anesthesia.
I was not warned that the circumcision procedure could result in amputation.
Fucking hell, that's pretty sharp and one hell of a slip.
Yeah. When the plaintiff wrote he's a forced surgical procedure, his penis was amputated, read the lawsuit. He never gave consent for complete or partial amputation of his penis. He's suing the hospital, 2 clinics and 2 doctors as defendants, as they are negligent in failing to seek assistance when difficulties arose to the procedure.
Grasping for a Zelda Master Sword joke here somewhere and failing miserably.
His wife is also suing for loss of consortium. Strangely.
This one, put it on ice.
This one's a really weird news. In fact, slightly cruel news, but I put it in here for a reason.
Well, the last one was slightly cruel news as well, I think.
But it's a bit weird.
Fucking hilarious.
2 men have been sent to court after eating 2 goldfish alive. I don't know if it's 2 each or 1 between them.
Right.
Jake Burrs and Joseph Merkey, both 20, were charged by RPCA after swallowing the goldfish and regurgitating them. They have been charged.
Is this another one of them stupid drinking gags that's been going on for the last
they've been charged in the Animal Welfare Act. They've been accused of failing to protect the goldfish from suffering an injury by failing to provide a suitable environment for them. Okay, the 2 men currently live in Lowestoft in Suffolk.
One of our fellas.
Yeah, he's one of our lot, and he's in Lowestoft Magistrates Court. This is a few days ago, so I'll be interested to see how that turned out.
Can I just say, Charlie Bob Cratchit, that's not the first time it's happened. So if you'd have actually, used your mind and typed it up, you'd have realised you'd have been busted like a motherfucker for doing that.
Mm.
If you'd have as like a live spider, scorpion, whatever, no one would have given a shit. The RSPCA don't give a crap. But to eat a goldfish, no. Don't give a crap about all them fucking fairground things either, but you eat that motherfucker?
Okay. Picture the scene. What's the next story now? Picture the scene.
Okay.
You've got up of a morning. You've got and for the purpose of this, you can have an extra child who's a girl.
Fucking damn it.
Okay.
Can't trust women these days.
You open a
Got
front
me
door
pregnant again.
and you find a doll outside your house which is dressed up to look like your child. What would you think?
Wait, what?
You open your door and there's a doll dressed up outside like your child. Looks like your child.
I'd think, witchcraft! You turn my kid into a doll! Get the bloody warlock!
Yep. Well, apparently
Get the Brazilians.
a woman who left dolls inside young girls' houses, terrifying the local community, is mortified her well-meaning gesture was misconstrued. She left them at least 8 different doorsteps in San Clementine, resembling the girls who lived there, all of whom were around 10 years old. Spooked families and neighbourhood contacted police, noting that each door belonged to a young girl who lived in the house, and they were asked to look out for the doll dropper.
Doll dropper.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
So people, obviously, some people were quite alarmed to find that they thought that what was going on while they find dolls just like kids. Police even looked for connections, were finding out. It turned out to be a local churchgoer who had a collection of dolls and decided to give them away nicely before it would be a really sweet gesture to dress them up, find dolls that look like local children and put them outside their houses.
Anonymously.
Yeah,
Like,
anonymously.
How did you not see this going wrong, old
Yeah,
naive
she
churchgoer?
did. She felt she's mortified by the whole thing.
Bless.
She thinks that next time, perhaps another, will just leave a note explaining what's going on. Obviously,
Written blood.
she tried to represent the girls who lived there. In her mind, her motivation was purely kindness. I have this thing. Dolls are bloody creepy.
Yeah.
My friend of mine, his mother collects dolls, and I walked to their house once to sort their Wi-Fi out, and I just went to their front room, and there's just dolls staring at me from every direction.
There's a doll that looked like you.
Wasn't there?
There's a small nick.
And I was just, I wanted to get out of there so bloody quick.
I just was thinking, Bing's our mum's old house.
With all the clowns up.
Yeah. Kev, go upstairs. Push him, quick, get him up the stairs.
Oh dear.
So, talking about disasters, we weren't, but we are now. It was quite embarrassing to lose control of a satellite.
Talking about disasters, you should link that one from the dude losing his cock. Would have worked perfectly.
Children the dolls, I thought, worked nicely.
They're nice disaster there.
Somebody
That's
should
more of
turn
a-
his cock and dressed up like him. So you've got a little face drawn on the head. Oh, a little toupee. I thought it was a nice gesture. So I make up for the fact I chopped off by accident. You know, get rid of that lawsuit.
Russia touched on with one of its satellites. They launched a satellite on July 19th. It contained geckos, fruit flies, and mushrooms. There's a night out for you.
Nunchucks, a severed penis.
But they lost control of it, with possibly an uncontrolled re-entry. The engine for the satellite stopped responding, but everything else remained intact. Now, the satellite, what was it researching? It was researching gecko sex in a weightless environment.
Right, seriously, this has probably come from some dodgy university or whatever. Who the fuck? This was a good idea to fund that.
The Russian Space Agency was Cosmos.
Right, stop doing that. You have no place in space if you're gonna fund this shit.
They
Go to
want to
something
see
useful.
what happens when geckos bonk each other in space and what happens to the offspring.
Well,
It's a noble cause.
fucking
How else are
A.
we going to know what happens to the
Noah's
geckos?
Ark in space. I don't give a fuck.
Boys, nobody's done that. Noah's Ark in space. That's a brilliant idea.
No one's burning in
Actually,
space.
Doctor Who did a story about Noah's Ark in space.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it
Interesting.
did. It's called The Ark in Space, strangely enough. Tom Baker, second serial he ever did.
Nothing's boning in space. Everyone find out.
Yeah. I imagine docking must be quite trouble if you're in space. You want to have a little bit of bone.
Kill yourself.
They have managed to
They might
restore.
do.
They managed to restore stable operation within a few days. Fortunately, you'll be pleased to know the equipment was in automatic mode, and particularly the experiment involving the geckos is working according to the program, which I presume might running moves on a loop. It's a 2-month experiment including video cameras and was to study the effect of microactivity on sexual behaviour.
Sick.
I think in
motherfucker.
some way this is actually a wanking story. Somebody's getting off to this somewhere.
Sorry.
Mm.
Also features a vacuum furnace designed to examine the melting and solidification of metal alloys in low gravity conditions. There's 5 geckos, one of which is male.
Pimp, man.
What?
I'm all up here
I
in
really
space
hope-
with my 4 chicks. Excellent.
Fucking hope that entire rig just comes down in the middle of some city centre.
I mean,
and
come on,
just-
that is
important
like
to know.
Bring it back down on the fucking the dude that runs the space program. Like cane him square.
Is
in
that
the
not like
face.
the science fiction fantasy trope thing going on there? There's a dude trapped in space. He's the last remaining man, and he's
I always got us 4. I was saying,
And all he's got's 4 geckos.
part gecko, and so he trained them, and one of them had nunchucks, and the other one
What
had
the
swords.
fuck was that really stupid?
Teenage
With the
gecko.
geckos.
So I fuck sometimes in space.
So it reminds me of this really. There was a really
Gecko,
stupid
teenage
space film.
heroes of a condom.
Oh. But they're only allowed to be called hero, not ninja, and they're not allowed to use nunchucks. So
Yeah, ninjas and nunchucks make us kill people.
They've already got the origin story that they want a satellite, unfortunately goes to the orbit, but they get hit by a weird type of radiation, makes them mutate. They've got the origin story there, haven't they?
Oh dear.
Of course, every other named after Italian planes, they'd be just all named after sort of stereotypical Russian names like Vlad.
So don't worry, we'll end up.
one of them
having
was,
it.
wasn't it? There was one of them was Ivan, wasn't it? Because they had the 4 Genghis frog, wasn't it?
Dude, we'll have a
What?
fucking.
There were turtles. There were
Was
4
there?
frogs, and they were named after dictators, famous dictators. One I think was actually called Vlad. Leader was Genghis. No, Rasputin was the
I
Russian
don't
one.
remember this.
Yeah, no, that was only like a one
I used to watch it when I
episode.
was a kid, but I don't remember this.
Yeah, what were they called?
Oh, right, okay.
Commenters, if you remember what the frogs in Ninja Turtles were called, they had a name, little gang of frogs.
You're not allowed to use Google.
Yes, you are.
No, you're not. It's cheating.
You're not allowed. You're not
The
allowed
Punk
to
Frogs.
use
Revenge of the
geckos.
Punk Frogs. That's what it was. Revenge of the Punk Frogs.
I don't know why, but that just makes me think of a Battletoads crossover.
Oh dear.
Names is what we have to do. Someone has to find the names.
Okay.
I think they were Genghis, Rasputin, Vlad, and then something else. I don't know what the last one was.
Righty-ho. You know how like sort of companies like to do like little advertising demos and like they'll do little skits and stuff and show try to sort of draw in trade and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's this going? Don't let my imagination clock on this one.
Well, in China, they
Oh,
decide to try and decide to try and get pull consumers in by staging mock executions. It's using the ad phrase "making a killing," and they're getting people. They're using World War II Chinese army uniforms, getting people, Japanese invaders dressed as Japanese invaders,
Oh my
and
God.
executing them
Gee.
with a sickle. It's for clothing sale.
Oh dear. Nanking
So
comes to
essentially
mind.
They
straight away.
march someone dressed as a Japanese soldier up to the ring and people aim and shoot him and some behead him with a sickle. Not really behead him, obviously.
Fucking funny if they did.
Mm.
I meant to say it would be an absolute tragedy.
He could wake up next day and sue him. You cut my head off.
You'll be pleased to know that someone across the other side of the town had a similar marketing campaign. He got women in bikinis to wash cars.
Oh, wow.
Which
I think I prefer the beheading one. Sounds
Yeah.
a little bit more, getting there. Oh wait, what?
yeah. That's it for weird news.
Fucking what a bunch of retards.
That was pretty random and pretty weird.
Good. Yeah, we had everything there. We had geckos, conks,
Punk frogs,
yeah, punk frogs.
but no
Dolls.
nunchucks, not like nunchucks.
No,
No
nunchucks,
nunchucks.
no ninjas.
No
Every
nunchucks.
time nunchucks and ninjas are mentioned in this episode, I have to cut 20 minutes out of it.
That's
Right,
the
no
episode
podcast
gone.
then.
Exactly. That means you owe us an episode.
Well, we're now seeing about 2 hours 35.
Do we have any more comments?
So is it,
Ninja,
not yet, no.
nunchuck.
Apart from someone's listening to Ready Player One.
It's a good
oh,
book.
cool.
Very good book.
Perfect.
I think it's a good book.
I
I listened to
it,
a bit of it, but I haven't got all of it. Sounds good so far.
Zach Braff's video game the movie has when we're eating it.
Oh,
And I was
cool.
talking about you know how we were going to do the tabletop style gaming thing with the multi-camera stuff
Mhm.
that I mentioned before? The dude did the love letter episode that I mentioned before
All right, yeah.
back in 2012. I was like, oh, hey, they've got the same kind of show I want to do for us. So we're waiting.
Oh, wicked.
So,
Yeah.
He
Well.
loves his tabletop games. Good old War Wheaton.
Well, that brings us to the end of our Nerds podcast.
Good podcast.
Well, that's it. I think it's been a good one. Apart from we lost control of what we were talking about because Luke disappeared for 10 minutes and left us to our alone.
I was doing a little
That was
dance.
amusing. It was
What do we do now?
Oh, I went down
Help.
the pub.
Oh, we did go to the pub. That's always good. Well, thank you very much for watching. I've been the TheSuffolkRam.
You say watching. This is the audio version. Are you watching now? No? Then it's the audio version.
Thank you very much for listening/watching. Delete as appropriate. I've been the TheSuffolkRam.
I've been a bard.
I'm Skazz.
I really look forward to seeing you in a fortnight's time. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Gee.
Push button.
Oh no, I've got to get up. I can't feel my legs. Falls over, collapses to the desk, dies. Sends Gecko to space.